Hello and welcome to another weekly Stack Chat where I have a nice friendly chat with a fellow content creator. And this week I've got CY Sterling for everybody. He's an amazing guy. He's not long started his YouTube channel, but he does have an amazing channel with some awesome pieces of silver. So without any further delay, let's get him straight in here and let's get the chat started. CY, buddy, how are you doing today?
Jesse, hi.
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad to have you here, mate. It's great to have you on the channel, bud.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Okay, before we go any further, I'm just going to have a very quick shout out to everybody who's already in the chat waiting for us. We've got Addicted to Precious Metals, Future Investments, 365 Days of Silver, Jamie Frost, Scott Silver, Darth Stacker. See why you're in the chat too, as am I. So yes, thank you to everybody who's come across and joined us. I just want to say how brilliant it is to see Jamie Frost in the chat. I know Jamie's had problems with the chat previously. He's been able to watch but not chat along, so it's great to have you in the chat today, Jamie. Really happy to see you there, and thank you to everybody else who's taken the time to join us today. I'm just going to have a quick sip of my caramel latte, and then we'll get to know your good self, CY, and find out a little bit more about you, mate. There we go.
Sounds good.
Excellent. Okay. Sorry, mate. Go on.
I didn't prepare myself for a caramel latte. I've gone for a bottle of wine, so
Ooh, very nice.
that's my usual Friday night when I'm not at work.
Excellent. What is it? Red or white or?
Red.
Red. I like a nice glass of red. We've also had Lee and Born to Skydive pop into the chat as well. So, guys, it's amazing to see you here. Thank you so much for joining us. So, which red is it? Is it a brand I would know at all, or?
Probably not. It's a local Cypriot brand.
Okay.
It's a medium sweet red, quite light.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Can I start us off with a very bad joke?
By all means.
What did the Cypriot cheese say to itself?
Go on then.
Hello, me. Sorry. I'm very sorry. I love cheesy jokes, and you don't get any more cheesier than that one right there.
That's very good. I'm going to have to make a mental note of that one.
Anyway, moving on. Mate, you've got a lovely spread there in front of you. Do you want to go through very quickly what you've chosen to bring out for us today?
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't know what to put out, so I've just kind of thrown a load of stuff out here, and then we can go through it during the course of the evening. I've got stuff that I haven't really shown on the channel before. Is a load of world circulated silver coins of varying silver content.
That's cool.
From like 50%, 80%, 90%, from just random countries around the world. A load of UK stuff, a load of American, Mexican, European, just anything I can get my hands on.
Yeah.
As long as it's got silver in it, it looks interesting. I tend to pick stuff up.
That's cool. No, that is cool. I'm getting very into the world the world coinage myself. I've got a little pile just off screen, just there. That's all different silver coinage from different countries. So it's something I'm getting into myself. It's people like Cranky Stacker and Jamie Frost who have got me into the foreign stuff. Jamie sent me quite a few of the. In fact, I've got a little chest here, which is very similar to your chest, and that's one I keep all the Jamie Frost Japanese coins in. And Cranky sent me some American coinage earlier on in the year, which really got me into the American silver coinage. I just think they're so cool.
I really like some of the US stuff, especially some of the older 90% silver stuff. They've got some really nice designs.
They really have. I love the designs of the American coinage. They do have some great designs. So other than foreign silver coins, what kind of thing do you like to pick up yourself? I know you're definitely a guy that likes his bullion, aren't you?
I am, yeah. Well, anyone who's seen any of my early videos knows I've not been doing this long, and I first started just thinking that I was going to stack Britannias, just low cost for weight. But then after I saw the kind of variety available in bullion, like 1 ounce coins, the collector in me just kind of couldn't be held back, and I just started up all sorts of things.
Yeah. No, definitely in my book there. I mean, I never had any preconceived notion of I was going to stick to Britannias. I knew from the very get-go that I was only going to pick 1 or 2 up per year of each Britannia, because just like yourself, I just love to go out and pick different stuff. I like to have 1 or 2 of different coins. I don't like to have just a load of the same coin. And as you say, it's the collector in me that likes to integrate with the stacking there, and you know, just diversifying which bullion I get.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. When I first started watching stacking videos, I didn't even know it was a thing. Like, obviously, I knew about coin collecting because I've liked coins for forever. But then when I started watching stacking videos, the first things that I was watching were like US channels, and they talk a lot about stacking for weight, low cost.
Yeah.
So that's kind of all I knew.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I started, delving deeper that I found out that there was more to it than just, hedging against inflation and, stacking full weight into store of wealth and all of that. It was afterwards, it became more of a hobby and a collection. So
Yeah.
I'm glad it's gone the way it's gone.
Yeah, I definitely prefer it that way. I think it drives you on more, doesn't it, when you have it as a bit of a collection and hobby, as well as just stacking for, like you say, hedge against inflation, etc. It makes it exciting because you're constantly looking for new pieces and pieces you haven't got, and then when pieces come up that you've not seen before, and you fall in love. And I do think it definitely helps to keep you motivated when you're getting different bits all the time rather than just sticking to the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm very much like that. I probably would have gotten bored and given up if it wasn't for this, collectability and the variety. And
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can see Goldtooth Stacker's joined us in the chat, so thank you very much for coming across, Goldtooth Stacker. It's great to have you here, buddy.
yeah. Hi there, Goldtooth.
Brilliant. Yeah. So you've not been you've not had your channel for too long now, have you? How long's it been exactly since you started your channel? Is it 3 months or so now?
Probably around that sort of time frame. Yeah.
That's going off the top of my head. I'd say it's around 3 months. I have been following your videos. I thought your first videos were exceedingly good for a first video. Have you ever had any experience with editing or YouTube in the past, or was this completely new to yourself?
This was completely new. The only experience I'd ever had with like editing of any sort was doing just personal Instagram stuff.
Yeah.
But I just used basic stuff that was like basic editing software that was already available on my phone.
Yeah.
It's only now that I've gone and like downloaded a couple of different apps and gotten a little bit more into it. I mean, I'm still, a complete noob when it comes to editing and stitching the video together and whatever else. I mean, some people I'm sure have seen some of the rough cuts in some of my videos, but it's a nice additional skill to learn, like, just video editing in general. I'm hoping to get better at it as I go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as I say, mate, to say you were new to it, I thought, your first work you came out very strong from the blocks. I was very impressed with the professionalism of your videos. You've got a very calming voice. You clearly know what you're talking about, and it's just great to listen to. It really is a great channel. So well done for that, buddy.
Oh, it's very kind of you to say. Thank you.
No, it's absolutely fine.
Look at that. I've been watching quite a few of your channel in particular, Cobra Stacker, 365, pretty much from the get-go as well.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of been behind the scenes. Like you said, I've only had my channel for a few months, but I've been collecting and watching you guys for a while. So
Yeah, absolutely. I can 100% testify to that. CY was around quite some time before you started your channel up. You were definitely very active in the community. And I think it's great when you see people as active in the community as you are start their own channels. It really is brilliant.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've seen some new names that again I've seen in comments and in a couple of Cobra Stackers auctions and stuff like that that now have their own channels, and it's kind of makes me think of how I was. I started out just watching. Now I've got my channel, and it's nice that the community is growing and more people are becoming creators and putting their own content out.
No, yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely. Sorry, go on, mate. I was just agreeing with you there.
no, I was gonna say like I was just literally just looking at the chat, and one name in particular just popped out at me. It was like Scott Silver.
Yeah.
He's just recently started, and Gold Tooth Stacker has just started. So I've been watching some of their videos, and it's nice to kind of see the new channels coming in and doing really well.
No, it really is. It's amazing to see. I mean, the UK stacking community on YouTube at least is really blossoming this year. It's
Really, yeah,
there's been a boom in the last few months in the number of channels, which is it's amazing. Now, I'm not taking away from the American stacking channels. They are absolutely brilliant, and there's a lot of them that I follow. But obviously, they're just not quite as relative to us in the UK here. So
yeah,
it is great to see that what's the word I'm looking for, that representation from the UK.
exactly that. And that's kind of how I saw it when I first started out. Because when I first started, I was watching US channels, and I was like, it's all great, but it's not as relatable to me being in Europe and the prices that we pay, especially like with VAT added on silver in the UK. Europe, a little bit less so, but there's still those added costs. So it was nice when I found some UK channels.
Yeah,
BYB was the first one,
yeah.
and then from there I found 365 Days of Silver and Future Investments, and then yourself and Cobra, and it's turned into a really nice. Like I still watch some of the US stuff, but it's just for reference. Now I kind of mainly focus on the UK channels.
Yeah, no, and I get that. There's still quite a few of the UK stacking channels that I love to watch, even if it's just for entertainment, because I really like the person behind the channel.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching them. But it's like you say, it's just not quite as relative to us over here. I assume, with you being in Cyprus, which it has a very British history to it. I can imagine it's probably more, you're more in line with UK information than the US stuff.
100%.
I just want to very quickly interrupt there because we've had a few more people join the chat. So I just want to say a big hello to Homestead Aquarius, Space Miner, John West, and Kimchi and Milk. Thank you guys for coming across. Jamie says I've got my posh voice on tonight. I always put my posh voice on for the stack chat. Don't know what you mean there, Jamie, but I do have a very different voice in my personal life. I'm a lot more northern and a lot more common than I am on YouTube. I can promise you all that.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to hearing my own voice on videos when I go back to edit.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where you know how you don't like the sound of your own voice when you're on a recording.
Yeah,
it's gonna take some getting used to, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Is that as Kimchi just said, that's a very good light TSC. I assume, is it the spinning one? I've recently bought a new spinning disc which has a light in it, which I thought would be nice for the backdrop.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, no, it is great. It eats through the batteries though. It's my other one doesn't light up. It's not as good. It was a lot cheaper, but it lasts a lot longer. It's got a solar panel on it, so it does. I've got one with a little watch on right there, spinning around as well. But yeah, thank you very much for that. It's I thought it was a quite a nice light as well. But so going back to yourself, so you were in the community. You were obviously taking part, watching the videos, etc. That inspired you to start your own channel. Now, what is the main what's your main motivation for your channel? What was the main thing you wanted to get out of starting up a YouTube channel?
The main thing with starting the channel was just to interact with the community. I mean, I just enjoyed what you guys were doing and I wanted to get involved. But it's also another way that I get to enjoy my collection because it's quite easy to pick stuff up and then just put it in a box and not really see it again.
Yeah.
Whereas having a channel, it's an excuse to get stuff out, talk about it, look through it, and share it with everyone else.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking to kind of gain a huge subscriber base or whatever else. I mean, it'd be nice, but that's in no way the motivation.
Yeah.
It's just enjoying the hobby, sharing it with you guys, and then just like having fun, participating, watching your lives with other people, getting involved with Cobra Stackers auctions, and then sharing things that I pick up with the rest of the community. It's just feeling that kind of, that involvement with everyone.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I'd just like to say you start for the exact same reason as myself, to be to be more involved in the community. Now, I've said it before, I was binge watching Future Invest. I just finished binge watching 365's videos, and I was binge watching Futures, and we were chatting in the comments, and I was saying how I was thinking of making a few videos to show my pieces off, and he said I should do that. But being part of the community was definitely my motivation to start the channel as well.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying about it's not for growth. To be honest with you, the idea of growth scares me a little bit. It's really it's great while you've got a small channel and everyone who interacts is supportive, etc. But the bigger the channel, the more people watching, and it just I wonder how other channels such as 365 and Backyard Bullying with the larger subscriber bases, how they handle contact, responding to all the comments, because I know people like 365, he responds to every comment that he gets, so that, it must be absolutely mental to do that.
I was going to say, like, you must be inundated with notifications and comments and whatever, especially like Backyard Bullying, because he's got 56 something thousand subscribers right now. But like, I remember having similar conversations, like you just said, with Future. I had similar conversations with 365, and he was very encouraging, start the channel, it's good fun, just get involved.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, it can't hurt. Worst case, you don't like it, you can just shut it down and just go back to kind of being in the comments and still interact, but without putting content out. So I thought I'd just throw together a couple of videos and see how it goes. And I'm really, really enjoying it. So,
and we're very glad you did, mate. We're very glad you did, because as I say, it's great to have your channel out there. Just want to say a very quick hello to Coin Noob. He's popped into the chat recently, so it's amazing to have you here, Coin Noob. Coin Noob was the first guest on my first Stack Chat a few weeks back, so amazing to have him. Yeah, no, it was a great conversation with Coin Noob. Really interesting.
It was.
He had some really, really interesting bits to discuss there. The other thing I want to say, we've had a question in the comments from Jamie Frost, who'd like to know what your thoughts are on sovereigns.
I love sovereigns, and I was fortunate enough to pick up a couple earlier in the year when I had a little bit of disposable cash. Unfortunately, circumstances weren't kind, and I had to sell a couple to kind of get me out of trouble. Mm-hmm. But the nice thing about what we do, especially putting money into gold, is that it's easy to liquidate. I mean, especially sovereigns. I kept one. I just couldn't sell this one. It's 1979, which is my year of birth. And it was a case of like, I knew that if I didn't buy the coins when I did, and I just had the money sitting in the bank, I would have spent it.
Yeah.
Whereas I had it there. Yeah, it was unfortunate I had to sell them, but it got me out of trouble, and then I can just kind of go back and buy them again. But yeah, I absolutely love sovereigns. They're great. Um, they're great coins. They've got history. They're incredibly liquid. I mean, I had no trouble selling when I had to.
Yeah.
They're just great pieces.
That's the thing about sovereigns, though, isn't it? Because that's an Arnold Machin right there, isn't it? The obverse, is that a second portrait, Arnold Machin? You said 1979 it
Yeah,
would be, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay.
that's
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted. That's the collector in me. So, yeah, I mean, if I have 3 sovereigns, which I've shown on the channel recently. I keep them locked up with like my
yeah,
proofs and my bunk Kew Gardens, that kind of thing. It's just like you said earlier in the video. The best coins are the ones you see the very least, because you put them away in safekeeping, don't you? And they
yeah,
kind of stay
yeah,
there. But going back to what you were saying about sovereigns, now if I was going to sell anything, I was genuinely thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking, if I came to sell anything, I would sell my sovereign first, purely because they're so liquid. I know for a
yeah,
fact I would have no problem rebuying it in a few weeks if I had to. With some of the silver pieces I've got, if I sold them, it's all great. But, some of them it would be really, really difficult to re-get again afterwards.
yeah.
So that's
But
one thing I love about sovereigns. I love how liquid they are. They really are. Well, in my opinion, anyway, the most liquid form of gold that you can purchase. So yeah, I can completely understand that, because the one thing
yeah,
you can sell and not feel too bad about, because you can just get it back again. The exact same year, unless it's a significant year, in which case sell one of your generic
yeah,
sovereigns. But absolutely,
that's exactly right. I mean, because when I needed the money, I thought, okay, I'll sell some silver because I really wanted to hold on to the gold.
yeah,
But then I was like, by the time I sell enough to raise the capital that I need, like it'll be half my collection. But
yeah.
then it'll take time, and you got to find the right buyers to get the right prices without losing too much. Whereas the sovereigns, people know what they are. You don't have to worry about like finding someone who's collecting, um, let's say, Myth and Legend series, or a particular series or anything like that. It's a sovereign. People know what it is. They know what it's worth. And like you said, unless it's something rare, you can pick them up relatively easily when you're in a position to do so again.
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to very quickly interrupt, because I want to say to APM, would you like me to go and get my thimble collection made? Because I actually do have a very small thimble collection, because APM's put something, he was going to start a thimble collecting channel in the comments there. Gary Crawford is getting his first sovereign tomorrow. Gary, congratulations on that. That's amazing news, mate. Definitely pop some photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely pop some photos in the Stackers Social as soon as you get that. And what perfect time to plug Stackers Social, which is something I do like to do. As you can see, I've got the Stackers Social mug today. And as you're probably aware, Stackers, I know you know, see, like, you're in there, but Stackers Social is a brilliant place for people who are into collecting coins and silver to come together and chat and show off their new pickups and ask questions, that kind of thing. I do put a link in the description of all my videos, so if you would like to join, definitely follow that link. It's a free community. It's based on Telegram. It's absolutely free to join. All you have to do is download the app and create yourself an account, and then you're good to go. But it is an absolutely brilliant place to be, and I definitely want to see more and more people in there, because the community in there is absolutely growing so strong.
And the thing is, it's not just strictly metals. People just come in and have a laugh and have a
Yeah,
chat.
yeah,
It's a really nice place to just catch up with people, like-minded people, have a conversation, and get some advice if you need to. I really enjoy it.
yeah. No, absolutely. TSCCY, you're both answering questions I've asked in my video that's uploading now. Well, that's brilliant. I'm very glad to hear that. That's what we're here for, to
And
to
look forward to seeing it.
yeah, that's, to be honest with you, that's the main reason for these stack chats. I want to share knowledge. I want to, it's great being able to bounce off of people in a conversation, rather than actually communicating through the comments. So I think it's brilliant that we're answering a few questions people already had there. Scott, I think you said that you had Scott Silver, sorry. I think you said you had a question in Stackers Social. So if we wanted to ask that, feel free, buddy. You can leave it for a little later if you'd like to instead. APM said, bit of cotton wool tucked inside, and I use them in winter to keep my fingers warm. I'm assuming he means the thimbles there. So yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure if I said hello to Cranky yet. Cranky's a good friend of mine from over in the States, and it's always amazing to see him in the live chat. So thank you so much for coming across and joining us today, Cranky. Kimsey says, Telegram isn't that secure, is it? Well, I've not had any problems with it. I don't really put any I don't put any personal details into it. I don't have my telephone number on display, so people can't get my details. You do have to set it so that your phone number and information is on display. You have to set your username, etc. As 365 pointed out, there's a few moderators in the social, of which I am one of those. So if you do have any problems or anything like that, feel free to speak to me or any of the other moderators, and we're more than happy to help out anything that or any problems that you may have. CoinNoob says, TNC, you're in my new vid today, bud. Thanks again. Oh, that's amazing, CoinNoob. I assume that's because something's arrived for you through the post, which I'm so looking forward to see. It can take me a little while to see your videos, CoinNoob, because he's over on the TikTok, not TikTok. Sorry, shake your TikToks. He's over on TikTok, so I don't always get my notifications very well on there. I can get them a few days late on TikTok, I've noticed, but I will definitely go and watch that as soon as I possibly can do, CoinNoob. I'm really looking forward to see that.
I'll be honest with you, I'm thinking of getting on the TikTok scene as well, just to kind of try it out.
Yeah, why not? Why not? I've considered it. I mean, YouTube's enough for me at the moment. I may do Instagram and TikTok at a later date, but I've just I'm happy enough to keep to YouTube right now. But I've really been enjoying CoinNoob stuff, and I know there's a few creators from YouTube that's popping out a bit of content onto TikTok. So yeah, it's definitely something to consider going forwards.
Definitely, yeah.
Absolutely. So before we go any further, mate, I've asked you a few questions. Is there anything that you'd like to ask me at all?
You've actually caught me a little bit off guard, because I've been trying to think of stuff. I was going to ask you about what your goals are going forward, because I remember you saying about picking up a bit more gold rather than silver.
Yeah.
So what's the plan there?
Right. Okay. Yeah. So the plan is next year that I am going to try and concentrate more on gold, particularly sovereigns, than I have on silver this year. I've picked up quite a few kilos of silver this year. So I've not done bad. I have most of what I have on show is bullion stuff, but that's only probably around 2/3 of my stack when I take into account all my silver proofs and all the old pre-decimal silver that I've got in albums, etc. So I'm actually quite happy with the amount of silver I've been able to pick up this year. So I'm not saying I'm not going to buy any silver. I'll never stop buying silver, because I am a collector, and every now and again I'll see pieces that I just love and just have to have in the stack. So I will pick up the odd piece of silver here and there, but going forward it's not going to be anything like it has been this year. I have absolutely smashed my silver stacking goals this year. Which was, if anyone can remember from my early videos, it was 1 ounce per month, and I've been able to get quite a bit more than that. But that's the bare minimum, and I'll probably keep that as a minimum going forwards, the 1 ounce per month. But just try and mix it up a little bit, and just see what pieces I can get going forwards. There's things like the Myths and Legends series. I'll probably continue collecting them. I really like the series. Whether or not I'll continue with the proofs is another matter. I'm going to be calming down on proofs a lot. Proofs have taken so much money off me this year. I'm
not big on.
No, yeah, I understand that, and it was only the collector in me. I just wanted to have some nice items in my collection, and I'm not saying I won't pick proofs up going forwards, but when I pick them up, it'll be from the secondary market from a much lower price than what they're available through the mint. I'll just pick them up as and when I can, based on the what I can get them for, because I've picked up a few proofs, and some of them being modern proofs. I've picked them up for about 20 quid a pop off eBay. They come with
I've seen.
they come with the full certificate of authenticity. They come with the whole pack. And when you're looking at paying £100 new, and it's 80 quid difference. That's how I'm going to be looking.
It's a no-brainer, really. I mean, like, I'll be honest with you, I've only got two proofs. One was King Charles coronation. I got the 1 ounce proof recently, and then the 1 ounce Queen Elizabeth memorial. And like you said, it was £100 a piece, and I just almost didn't buy them for the fact that I know, it's just so much money for a 1 ounce piece. But for me, it was the not necessarily the collector in me, more the fact that, okay, I'm thinking they might kind of gain a bit of value in the future, but I know they're going to be a long hold.
Yeah.
So just picked up to see how they do, really.
Yeah. See, I never pick a proof up for that reason. I would never buy a proof as an investment, purely because we start off so expensive. We've not got a hell of a long way to go up in value. A proof to do really well will probably just keep its original value. You know what I mean? But they're really not a good thing to look at when you're looking at investments, purely because of the sheer amount of premium that's on them. You're looking at about £19 worth of silver for about £103 at the moment. So there's just such a huge markup, but they are lovely things. They are gorgeous.
They really are gorgeous.
They are. So I think I'm up to about 30 silver proofs now, which I think's a good number of silver proofs to have. And
I think it's a number.
Yeah. So I mean, they're not. That's not all modern silver proofs. There's some dating back to like the 60s and 70s, 80s, that kind of thing. Like the original. I think there was 5 original Queen Elizabeth II silver proofs that were produced in the crown denomination. They obviously
was that like the coronation or like the silver jubilee? It was stuff like that.
It was the coronation. There was silver jubilee, silver wedding anniversary, coronation, Queen Mother's 90th, and the 1982 wedding between Charles and Diana. With off the top of my head, with the 5 crown silver proofs that you could get. After that, they became £5 silver proofs, which is the modern equivalent of the same coin, but obviously it's £5 instead of a crown, which has a monetary value of 25p.
Yeah, you see, I picked them up in just the standard basic copper nickel, just for the sake of having them. I like the designs, but having seen yours, like, I'm tempted to go back and maybe get them in the proof, but I'm still kind of like...
Do it, mate.
Arguing.
No, do it, because those proofs, if you look around, don't pay more than normal bullion price for them.
Yeah.
You're looking about 30 quid per coin for the proof in the box with the certificate. So, they're a great buy. I would say if people are wanting to get into proofs, they're a brilliant first coin to get into because of the value of them. With regards to the actual standard crowns, is that the only 3 you've got?
I've got a couple. Let's have a look here. I've got the Winston Churchill. I've got the
Queen Mother's 90th,
90th, yeah. And then I have the 1951 Festival of Britain.
Yeah. The New York Festival of Britain. Which is one of the rarer ones out of the, I believe, 7 commemorative crowns we had for Queen Elizabeth II. That's absolutely fine. I really like that one because it's got the Benedetto Pestrucci depiction of George slaying the dragon, which is one of my very favourite. One of my favourite
designs.
One of my favourite coins. Sorry, I was just looking at the chat because we've had a question from Future Investments, who's an amazing creator, as you all know. Future Investments has asked a question for you, CY. What other investments do you have other than silver? Do you invest into anything else at all?
At the moment, I have a savings fund through the Bank of Cyprus here, which is kind of linked to stocks. I'm not entirely sure on the details. I need to inquire
Do you
more.
say
I'll be
that's
honest with you.
through the Bank of England?
The Bank of
Oh,
Cyprus.
Bank of Cyprus. So would that be like a treasury bond for Cyprus, would it?
Similar, I think, yeah.
Okay.
But I'll be honest with you, it was one of those things that I just kind of set and
Yeah.
left without asking too many questions.
Yeah.
But I do want to look more into the S&P 500. I know you and Future Investments talk about that quite a lot, and he's done quite a few videos on it, and it's really kind of piqued my interest, and I want to look more into it. So I'm definitely going down that rabbit hole right now.
If that's the kind of investing you want to do, where you want to dollar cost average, put some money in on a regular basis and not bother about anything else, the S&P 500 is one of my definite recommendations to do that. It's the US economy has time after time proven to be the strongest economy in the world, which is why I personally look into invest in the S&P 100 rather than something like the FTSE 100, which is the UK equivalent to that. So yeah, it's definitely and I think I'm safe in saying, the S&P 500 is the fund that most professional investors, like big time investors, would suggest to the average person to look into if you're wanting to get into investment, but you don't have a huge amount of you don't have a huge amount of knowledge regarding that. Sorry, Scott Silver, I didn't see that, so I'm having a quick look. I can't see it. Can you just pop it back in the chat for me, Scott Silver, because I did miss your question there, mate. I do apologise. Yeah, so sorry, as I was saying, I think the S&P 500 is a brilliant, it's a brilliant thing for that. It's great for passive investment where, as I say, you just put money in every now and again, you just wait for your investment to grow over a number of years. So yeah, definitely something I'd personally recommend, and definitely something I suggest that you at least look into it a bit further.
Yeah, I'm definitely. Unfortunately, in Cyprus, information is a little bit hard to come by because we're still kind of getting used to putting things online and having websites that are kind of easy to read, clear, concise. A lot of, especially financial institutions, they just put all the information and all the jargon and everything, and it's really hard to decipher, and it's hard to kind of like find who to speak to. So it's just a case of lots of reading and trying to kind of just muddle through and figure out what's the best option.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, me personally, I spent quite a lot of time researching investments before I ever put a single penny into anything. Well, that's not true. That's not true. I invested years ago without knowing what I was doing, and it was literally just putting money into just dollar cost averaging, putting money in. And the first ever thing that I invested in, and what got me onto investing all those years ago, was a company share save scheme that we had, and the company was growing quite a large amount, and we were able to buy shares of the company as an employee at a set rate, and we saw a very, very good good growth on that in a short period of time, and luckily I was able to get out of it while it was still high, and then after that the company went down and it basically dissolved. I mentioned it in last week's Stack Chat, actually. It was a home survey. They used to have a insurance claims management service where they'd handle and manage claims on behalf of insurers, but they closed all of that down and then just went on to emergency services, boiler repairs, drainage repairs, that kind of thing. So when that happened, the company's stock value plummeted. So I got out a really good time on that one, actually. So that was good.
No, that's really good.
Okay. Sorry, one second. We've had a couple more questions come in the chat. APM has asked, APM, this is an awful question. It's a question I hate getting myself. But he's asked the question, which is your favourite piece of silver you own?
My favorite piece of silver. Now he's really putting me on the spot.
Exactly. It's such a bad question because you always say it's like it's harder than picking a kid for me. You know what I mean? Who's your favourite child? But yeah, it's a great question, just a very difficult one to answer.
See, just because it was APM that asked that, this is one of my favorites.
I do like that. I really do like the Superman coin.
Yeah, now I'm a huge Superman fan from like my youth. I used to be into comics, and Superman was always my favorite character. So I love this. I've actually got a Superman tattoo. So
wow,
that says that.
Brilliant.
I think my absolute favorite has to be, I think, the 2-ounce Queen's Beast completer. I mean, it's just
it's gorgeous coin.
A stunning piece. I love it.
So it is a very gorgeous coin. It reminds me of the reverse side of the Libertad. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think they've gone one better. I prefer the design on the completer. I mean, the reverse of the Libertad is really nice, but I think this
I think that's better because it's similar because you've got the central design and then the designs around it. Whereas Libertad, you've got the up to date national emblem of Mexico, and then round it you've got the previous national emblems. But obviously on that one you've got the Her Majesty the Queen of the Centre and her heraldic beasts round the side. Yeah, you're brilliant. You've got one there. So on the other side, you'll see that it's quite a similar design. But like you say, I think the Queen's Beast is the nicer looking one. But yeah, when you've got them together, you can see it's similar-ish at least, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Yeah, I do like them.
Great.
I know 5 wasn't a big fan of the Type 2 Libertad until recently, but I think he's kind of come around on it.
Yeah, I think he's got a bit of history with the Libertad, hasn't he? So that's probably got something to pay into that. But the whole Libertad banning. Let's not bring that back up. Right, we've had another question from Coin Noob, and he would like to know. This is a brilliant question. It's something I was going to bring up myself anyway. But what he said is it harder is it harder or more expensive buying silver in Cyprus?
I'd say yes on both counts. It's both harder and it can be more expensive if you don't know where to go. It's harder because we don't get as much in the country. It's like when I first started stacking, I just didn't know where to look. So I was trying to pick up things from UK markets. I found we've got an online marketplace in Cyprus similar to like Gumtree and stuff like that, and people sell things on there. Obviously, I found hobbies and collectibles where they have coins, but some of the prices people try and ask for are a little bit extortionate. I mean, I told this to Cobra Stacker when I met up with him last week. Someone was selling a 2010 or 2011 Britannia, and he wanted 120 euro for it, and that's just unrealistic. But then I was fortunate when I was scrolling through the online marketplace, I found an online bullion dealer based here in Cyprus, and he's quite knowledgeable and he's a lot more reasonable. So I buy a lot of my stuff from him, like locally. But even with him, like I see stuff gets released and you guys show it on videos and whatever, and then I might be waiting a couple of months before it even comes to Cyprus. So I'm always kind of behind the times.
CY, mate. You know, if there's something out here and we can help you, I'm sure, you know, I'm more than happy to help. I'm sure other people would be as well.
I mean,
you know, that's the whole point of the community. You know, we're here to help each other for that exact reason. Is there anything over there that is easier for you to get? than would be over here at all? Do you have any kind of bullion that's more native to where you are that's perhaps cheaper for you to get than us?
Unfortunately, not. No, I mean the the Bank of Cyprus does produce like its own proof coins um,
Yeah.
in sterling silver, but I think those are fairly competitively priced, but they don't really appeal to me
Right.
all that
Yeah.
much. So when I the thing that I do, and that led me to accumulate a lot of this world silver, is I found a couple of
Okay.
antique shops. So whenever I've got 10, 15 euro kind of like burning a hole in my pocket, I'll just pop into an antique shop and
Yeah.
see what they've got and pick up the odd, bits
Yeah.
and bobs here and there. And, that kind of keeps me going until things do come in. Or if I kind of get things on, I mean, that's why Cobra's auctions now are a great resource. I've uh, I've got the Silver Forum. I just bought some stuff from like Silver Trader. So I'm kind of utilizing more UK
Yeah.
resources
Yeah,
when I need to.
absolutely, and that's the best thing to do, mate. It's unfortunate that geographically it makes it harder for you to purchase silver. That must be very frustrating for you, mate. Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
bit, yeah.
Okay, moving on because
Yeah.
I found the question that Scott Silver wanting to ask a little while ago.
Okay.
It's a brilliant question if I'm understanding it correctly, because he says his question is: do you subscribe to the theory that silver is manually manipulated? I assume he means the price of silver is manually manipulated.
I see.
Would
Yeah.
would that be something you'd subscribe to?
Um, I'll be honest with you. I've read and I've watched videos on the topic, and I get where a lot of this is coming from in like the manipulation to keep the price low for industrial purposes. Because if silver was valued at its true potential, it would make industry kind of struggle with getting it themselves. So they have to try and keep the price low. I mean, whether I subscribe to it personally, I'm not. I'm a little bit on the
Yeah.
fence.
Well, let me just say my point of view, because I disagree very slightly with you there. I think it is 100% absolutely manipulated. I think every single asset out there is manipulated in one way or another. The ways you've just described are the big ways, but you've got to remember this stuff like, creators that are pumping information with a narrative, like they want the price of silver to go up, so they're saying to everyone, buy now, this is going to happen, buy now. Or they may want the price of silver to go down, so they might start saying, this is going to happen, so it's sell now. So everything is manipulated. It's in people's interest to manipulate the prices up and down. So there's definitely 100% people out there trying to do that. Whether or not it's effective or not is another thing. I also do absolutely believe that there are, and where this actually makes a difference is when you get big players making big moves, and that can absolutely manipulate the price of the market. Now, if you've got a big player, I don't know, someone like BlackRock, and they decide overnight that, you know what, we don't want to be in silver anymore, and they decide to sell their entire holding of silver, you're going to find the price of silver is going to come down quite a lot, because you're going to have a lot of product saturating the market at a short period of time. When that's settled down, it will settle out over time. But likewise, if you get a big player who decides, I want to be in silver, I'm going to buy myself 2 million ounces worth of silver, you're going to see the price of silver go up a little bit. So absolutely, there's manipulation that is happening all the way through. John West just put, life is manipulated from top to bottom, and absolutely it is.
I definitely agree. I mean, the thing is, what was the movement a couple of years ago, like the whole silver squeeze movement, and everyone rush and I get there's things like that happen, but does it work?
Not always.
I haven't
most
seen...
of the time, no. Most of the time, it doesn't work. But there are definitely people out there trying to manipulate the market, at least 100%. Yeah.
I found out that there is, everyone's trying to line their own pockets, but
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I don't think most of what people do actually works. Unless it's the times that really make a difference are when you've got big players making very very large buys or sells, and that will manipulate it one way. But yeah, it was a brilliant question, very interesting.
Very,
Absolutely,
yeah,
and I agree with you. I don't think most of the manipulation works. I think most people out there are doing their own research and finding out their own information. But yeah, I definitely think that there's people out there that are at least trying to manipulate the market, and I think the reason I say that is like just be wary whenever you see a headline, whenever you see a statement made by somebody. Just be wary regarding what their motives are behind that statement. Because it may be somebody trying to manipulate the market, but for them to have an effect on you, they don't need to manipulate the market. They just need to change your thought process or make you think something that you didn't think before. So it's definitely something to be wary of going forward. But I absolutely agree with you there. Now, see why, mate? We've had a question, and this is completely up to you whether or not you choose to answer it, because I try to avoid political topics, but we have had a question from Kimchi who's asked and it is an interesting question because I know what it's getting to. But what is the political situation like in Cyprus? Is it a worry at all?
I'll be honest with you, I try and stay away from political or politically charged topics in general, because they can be quite divisive, and especially here in Cyprus, people can be quite passionate when they get involved. So I kind of, as soon as I hear a conversation turn to politics, I tend to kind of walk the other way.
I just want to say very quickly, just in case people are just sat there thinking, well, what do you mean? It's because Cyprus has been split into two parts for quite so many years, and it's separated by a demilitarized zone, isn't it? Yeah. So you've got two very different political and cultural areas of Cyprus. But it's very interesting if people want to review that more in their own time. I understand your answer, and I think.
See,
Sorry, you were going to say something.
the thing is, what I was going to say is like, there's how to put this. There's a lot of misinformation on both sides. This is a conflict that's been going back. Let's say the occupation of Cyprus. I mean, it happened in 1974 when there was, Turkish troops invaded Cyprus under the guise of protecting its, like Turkish citizens in Cyprus, because before that, it was a mixed community, Greek Cypriot and Turkish Cypriot communities living together, and then there was a load of propaganda and whatever else, and then the country was split in 1974. And then obviously I'm Greek Cypriot, and I've lived all my life in London, but I've grown up in a Greek Cypriot household, so we get told the Greek Cypriot side. Now, I know Turkish Cypriots that get told the Turkish Cypriot version of events. So, there is some truth, there's some misinformation. It's just such a muddle of the two stories that, to try and sit and figure it all out, it's a big undertaking. So the country's kind of stayed the way it is. I mean, it's become a lot more relaxed with regards to now there's crossings. You can kind of freely move between northern and southern Cyprus. There are security checks, but you can kind of come and go. So I've been and visited areas that I only read about in books when I was younger. So that's a step in the right direction. Now, whether the whole division will ever come down and the island will be reunited, I don't know. It's anybody's guess. sometimes they say a solution is on the horizon and then it's not, and it's just
Yeah, no,
who knows.
absolutely, absolutely. It is a very interesting subject. And as I say, I do recommend if anyone is more interested that they look into it. There's some very interesting documentaries out there regarding the whole situation in Cyprus regarding the two areas. I would like to pull it back to a bit of a lighter note. I don't want to keep it too dark, really. But just to give everyone a bit of good news, Pepe has scored, putting England 1-0 in the lead. So that's some brilliant news right there. I also want to say I see people talking about the Black Knight satellite in the comments. Now that's something I discussed last week when we went on to conspiracy theories very quickly. I'm not going to do that this week. We're going to keep it more to the silver. Sorry
about that. So just to touch on conspiracy theories really, really quickly, like, cause I do hear about them, and some of them do intrigue me. But I've never heard about the black satellite conspiracy. So I've kind of wanted to do some research. I haven't got around to it yet. So that's definitely on my notes to kind of look into, because that really,
it's really interesting. It's a satellite that's orbiting the Earth, and it's pretty much. I'm of the same opinion of Space Miner, that it could be something. It could be a vestige or some kind of remnant from a lost civilization, perhaps a pre-flood civilization. I truly believe that there's every chance that mankind could have been a lot more civilized than it was when we believe it was. We
currently are,
maybe not as civilized as what we are now, but certainly more so, so the black satellite is something that's out there. There's some photos on the internet that's meant to be of the satellite itself, but it's just really interesting because there's people like Nikola Tesla, Marconi, or other great scientists. They claim that they were actually able to observe the Black Knight satellite, and it shows up every now and again, but then sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. It's super interesting. Again, I don't want to get it. I don't want to go too far off the topic this week. Where we'll try and keep it to coins and silver, but definitely recommend looking into that if you if that's something that is of interest to you. Absolutely, 100%. Okay, I don't think we've got any more questions at the moment. I think that's most of them. If anyone does have any other questions whatsoever, then obviously please feel free to ask them in the chat, and we'll be more than happy to answer those. If we do miss your question and the chat moves on, please feel free to repop it in there, just because I probably missed it if that's the case. But I just want to say an absolute massive thank you to everyone who's here with us so far today. We've been going for just about an hour now. We've got 24 people in the chat, so that's an amazing amount of people. Thank you so much for coming across and joining us today. Brilliant. So we've spoke about why you wanted to start the channel, the kind of silver you buy, what your favorite pieces, etc. Going forward, what's your plans going forward? Is it just going to be business as usual? Are you going to keep doing the same things, or are you going to be looking into?
I'll be honest with you, going forward, I've got a couple of videos coming out next week with regards to date runs, because I've just completed my Silver Eagle date run. So that's, I'm really, really happy to have done that. And that wasn't even supposed to be a date run, because my whole thing with the collector side is I like to have at least like one of each different type of coin. So I was going to get one Libertad, one Austrian Philharmonic, one Eagle, that kind of thing. So I was like, okay, I'll get one Eagle. But then I knew that there was a Type 1 and a Type 2. So I'm like, okay, I'll get one of each. And then a few others kind of came up for really good prices, so I picked those up. And then before I knew it, I just kept seeing them. And they were hard to kind of like hard to say no. And before I knew it, just turned into
Yeah,
a date
I love
run.
it when I do love it when that happens. You know me, I'm all about the date runs. I think date runs are an amazing thing. I'm not into. I don't think I'm really into many date runs when it comes to bullying. There's a couple of bits. I mean, you could call the Myth and Legends a date run. You could call the Cucumbers a date run, but they're not. They're a series. It's more of the pre-decimal stuff that I have. I have all the date run albums that I like to pop things in there.
Yeah.
I'm currently going through my old pennies at the moment. I'm about 2/3 of the way through, and that is taking me weeks to actually sort them out by year. But as soon as I've done that, I can put my date run of old pennies together and move on to half pennies, which is the last denomination of coin I have to sort out. And once I've done that, I can finally do a full collection video, which is something I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've done like the Myths and Legends with the Robin Hood series, then the Arthur and Merlin and stuff. I've done the Dragon Bars. Um, I'm almost like I've finished the Silver Eagles, and I'm almost finished with the Britannias. So that's kind of like my current focus. But I do have a run of Morgan dollars. I'm only about halfway through that. So next year, I'm probably going to focus on that a little bit more. But then it'll just be a case of picking stuff up as and when it's released. So the next Dragon Bar, the next Eagle and Britannia and such. And probably like you, I'll probably try and focus and pick up a little bit of gold again.
That would be great. It would be great to see you getting a few more sovereigns on the channel, mate. I definitely look forward to seeing them. I'm hoping to get at least a few more next year. I did see we had a question from Space Miner. He's asked, I'm a huge fan of volatility of PT. I assume he means platinum. How do you feel about it?
I've not touched platinum yet. Again, it seems to be one of those metals that's a little bit controversial, because I remember years ago platinum was valued higher than gold, and then it kind of like fell through the floor, and now it's remaining like undervalued. So I really don't know what's happening with it. So I've not really looked into platinum too much.
Platinum is it's rarer than gold, isn't it? It is rarer than gold.
It is, exactly.
Does it have the same desire as gold? Is it as usable as gold? Do you have as many people using it for gold jewelry, or is it used in industry as much? Because I know everyone says silver is an industrial metal, but so is gold. Gold does have industrial usage, and definitely more so than what platinum does. So I do understand that although platinum is the rarer of the metals, I think gold being valued higher, it makes a lot of sense for me. When it comes to platinum, the thing is, it just looks so much like silver. So to look at,
it's a little bit grayer than silver, I think.
I accept that, but with that being the case, I mean, you can obviously it's silver and silver, isn't it? So like right here, you've got a new looking alien round, and then right next to it, you've got the antiqued Robin Hood round. So you can see, even though they're both silver, the Robin Hood's a little grayer, so you can still get that. Yeah. You can still get the effect with silver. Yeah, so it doesn't, for me, it doesn't really show, it doesn't hold that much value for looking at, because, I can get the same kind of effect just looking at a silver coin. There's a big difference in value. I'm not against platinum in any respect. If I was going to get, sorry, mate, go on. I was just going to say, if I was going to get platinum, it would probably be more for an investment than actually for the because I want it in my collection, because I do, obviously platinum does have scope to invest into that kind of thing. My main concern is that I'd mix up some platinum with silver and sell it for silver price, which is really is the kind of thing that I would do. So yeah. Sorry, mate, go on.
If you did sell like platinum in place of silver, you'd take a bit of a hit on the cost of that. I mean, the only piece of platinum I've owned is when I got married, oof, 13 years ago, well, now divorced. I bought a platinum wedding ring, um, because at the time it was the more valuable metal, and it was the whole thing about you want to get the best, so we went with platinum
Yeah.
instead of gold. And then, like, more recently, when I looked at, you know, selling the wedding band, the prices that I was offered for it compared to what I paid. I mean, obviously you
Yeah.
lose on
Yeah.
jewelry, especially, but the the, the drop was so much more than I
Yeah.
thought, and it's because, like, the value of platinum's like
Yeah.
plummeted. So I mean, people say it's got room to grow. So as an investment, it could potentially be an interesting asset to look
Okay.
into.
Yeah. No, absolutely. We've got a little bit of a request. People want to see coins, so I think we might have to do a little bit of a show and tell right now. Have you got any 10 franc silver coins from around the 1800s or anything similar like that?
10 francs, I
Yeah.
don't have. Let's see, what do I have?
This is probably the
Like
closest
the
I've
two old,
got, which is a Netherlands coin. Um, that's a silver coin I got from a recent mystery box that I got from Ray. That's a nice coin. I've got this in silver, and I've got a more modern non-silver version of it. So that's quite nice. Other than that, I've got a few Canadians, an Irish, and some American coinage. So you've probably got much better foreign coinage than me. So if you'd like to show us a few of your favourite pieces, that'd be great.
now. You see, part of I've been debating whether to keep everything in capsules, or being that they're all, circulated old coins, I could have them just
Yeah.
loose in a chest. I do like hearing them clink together, but just haven't decided yet. Um, let's see. Let's start with some Greek
That's
old,
cool.
from.
If you have a bit of trouble getting it to focus, mate, if you do the old use your palm there,
The
yeah,
old.
and like that kind of thing, it'll there, yeah, that's much better, mate. Brilliant. That's a lovely coin, that is. What are we looking at? It looks like we've got somebody on horseback there.
Like, yeah, it's an
Yeah,
old drachma from 1911, if I'm not mistaken.
can't make that out myself. But,
Oop,
that's a very interesting chap there. Who's that on the obverse? Oh,
let me just have a quick.
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately, this time of the evening, my eyesight's
that's no
struggling a
problem
little
at all,
bit.
mate. No worries. Wait, so is that your favourite of your silver coinage, or have you got any other favourites?
Let's see. My favorite has to be. I'll take it out of the capsule to show you, because I picked this up at a very reasonable price because it's got a couple of holes in it, and I seem to recall you have a couple of oldish coins that you picked up because they've got a hole in it from jewelry or something. But this is a 1752 Spanish
Oh,
two
brilliant.
real. Yeah, and this is the oldest coin that I have in
Oh
my
wow!
collection.
How old's that dated to?
Uh, Dated to
Oh, that's
1722.
that is quite an old coin, that mate. That's yeah, quite a bit of history.
Yeah,
This that's my main hold coin right there, which is really annoying because it's an 1822 crown, and the
yeah.
1822 crown is actually a really rare date. It's a scarce date, so it'd be worth a lot more money without the hole in it. But I still got it for a good price, even with the hole. So yeah, it can really annoy me when I see holes in coins. But it is what it is. I'd rather have a coin with a hole in it than no coin at all. So yeah, no, that was definitely a beautiful coin right there that you've just shown. That's a crown. Is that an 1822 there or no? That's a
It's 1880.
1818. Brilliant. Do you know what's
Yeah,
do you know what's
quite.
significant about that year? That was the year
Tell
that
me.
we started to standardise our coins. So that's when all crowns started being 28.28 grams. They were all the same size, all the same width. So 1818 is that's kind of when coinage in a way became modern, or for the pre-decimal anyway, and we started to uniform our coiners. I'm sure it's 1818. That's the year. If Bits and Bobs were in the chat, they'd definitely be able to answer that. They're great on stuff like that. I don't know if anyone saw, they had a little quiz on their channel recently. That was a lot of fun. I only got a couple wrong on that one, but it was very difficult, but a lot of fun. I might have to do something like that on my channel, a little quiz.
Definitely, yeah. You're the right guy to do it. I mean, everyone knows that when it comes to older coins and the history, and you're the man.
I help where I can. There's certainly definitely better people out there that know a lot more than I do about them. But I know quite a bit about the old pre-decimal stuff. It really, really interests me. I can see Kimsey said that he wants a groat. I definitely want a groat. Absolutely. A groat was 4 pence. It was the small. No, it wasn't the smallest silver coin. You had the 3 pence, but a groat was a very, very cool coin. I don't have any groats myself, unfortunately. I think I've got one that's basically a planchette because it's so smooth down. But groats are definitely super cool coins just because of the name.
Yeah, and I've got. Sorry if you can hear one of the cats in the background. She's running around playing. Oop, dropping coins. But no, I mean, I've got a couple of 3 pence. One sec. Trying to pick up too much. Let's see if that focuses. I think it's 1935.
It's a little 3 pence, 1935. Yeah.
Little 3 pence. And I actually did a set of King George V. I've got the 3 pence, 6 pence.
Shilling. Yeah,
shilling, 2 shilling, well, florin.
Yeah, they went to 2 shillings by then, didn't they? And it annoys me because it's not 2 shillings, it's a florin.
See, for King George V, I've got a 1920
florin. Yeah.
Florin. And I love the design on this.
Yeah, I love that design too. I really do. Not quite as good as the. My favourite design for the florins was the Edward VII designs. He had the standing Brit florins, and they are just so cool. Would you like to see one? Well, if you bear with me one second, they're just in the drawer just next to me, so I won't be 2 moments. Yep. Brilliant. Okay. Here we go. I've just grabbed a handful of albums here. Let me just find the right one. Half crowns, florins. Here we go. So I have got a few of the standing Brits myself, and it's just a super cool coin. Let me just see if we can get one here. Here we go. So that right there, you can see you've got the standing Britannia, and it's Britannia with the trident in their right hand and shield in the left hand, stood in the waves, as opposed to being sat in the waves, which is normally depicted. So they started, I think, 1902 with Edward VII, and then they went on to the more design that you were referring to, just after that. Yeah. So I think the design you were showing right there is one that came directly after the standing Britannia, which again that's my favourite for the florins.
But I've also got a let me check the date. 1887 florin, and it's the same Queen Victoria. And it's the same.
What? So I've just shown you. I thought the Queen Victoria would have had the three emblems on them, kind of higgledy-piggledy.
No.
It definitely went to that later on with Victoria, but they do use a lot of the same designs do get reused. But
Yeah.
it's certainly very similar design. It's not quite the same
Yeah.
as it, but it is definitely similar. You've got the
Similar, yeah.
crowns. Do you have the crowns on top of the shields on the right hand one as well? Yeah, it's the legend's slightly different, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
right. Yeah. The letter, the dates top
Yeah,
instead of the bottom. Very,
yeah.
very similar designs, but both
Yeah,
very
and
cool.
then afterwards as well, it kept as a very similar design, and they just kind of angled everything round very very slightly. So as you can see here, get the album back open. So after, as I say, after the standing bricks, you had that design you were referring to, and then slightly after that, again, it's a very very similar design, but it's angled rather than being like that, which the other ones are. And then after that, it went on to the crown rose, which is one of my favourite designs. I really like the crown rose. And then after that, we ended with this design right here, which is it has a rose in the centre, and then the other national flowers of the
Yes.
other members of the United Kingdom around that. So yeah, florins are a lovely coin with some great designs. Definitely one of my favourites. Cranky's just said, "Oh my God, TSC, I drooled a little." Cranky's a big fan of our older coins, and being in the States, he finds it a little bit difficult to get hold of them. So, Kimchi. Now for Charles, we have toy money with silly animals on them. Thank you. I'm not a huge fan.
I
I'm
saw that.
really not a huge fan of the new commemorative coin. The new definitive coins, and
That
yeah,
makes
no,
total
and the salmon's a pure rip off from the Irish penny.
yes.
That is just straight up ripped off of other coins. Uh,
I mean, I just picked that an Irish
oh yeah,
florin.
there you go. You've got a salmon on there. Yep,
And
yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. So that was exactly what I
Yeah,
thought when I
yeah,
first saw it.
100%. Look, it's kind of like not only that, there's that, but also what is that grouse thing called again? I can't even say it. But it's not what you think of when you
No,
think Britain, is it? Now, for me,
no,
I mean, I disagree if you wish to do so. But for me, you don't get much more British when it comes to birds than a robin redbreast.
thank you.
Yeah,
I totally
hundred
agree.
percent. I mean, it is, isn't it? It's for it's the quaint, essentially British bird. The robin redbreast is
Yeah,
absolutely. So rather than a puffin, which I know we do have puffins in the UK, and we do have those. It's the world's largest species of grouse. We're in Scotland, and they are endangered. But it's not. It's not really what you think of.
no,
But
exactly.
so I'm glad. I'm very glad to see other people agree with me in the comments there. I've not even bought the set yet. I mean, I will. I'll have to buy it um, for the um, for the stack.
See, I can't bring myself to do it. I really don't.
They
It
are
doesn't appeal
childish,
to me
aren't
at
they?
all.
But I think somebody told me that they're deliberately childish, and they're supposed to be. One of the ideas is to get children more into coin collecting because the denominations are bigger and easier to read, and they've got like more child friendly designs. But I don't know. For me as a collector, there's a lot of tradition in British coinage. Like we said earlier, a lot of the designs do get reimagined and reused from time to time. And I like it that way. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the new definitives. I know King Charles is a big fan of nature, and I know that was.
Granted,
Sorry, mate. Go on.
yeah, granted he is, but I still don't. I still don't think
No,
they've
no,
done the coins
I
justice.
absolutely don't think we've done the coins justice at all. I mean, each to their own. If you are a fan of them, that's absolutely fine. Just me personally, I'm not. They look more like commemoratives than definitives to myself.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's that's the thing with coin collecting. Collecting anything. In fact, it's entirely personal. So if you like it, that's absolutely fine. No one's going to tell you you're right or wrong. Do what
Yeah, I've just
appeals to
seen
you.
Gimchi said Charles cares so much about his puffins on his private estate, and that's probably true. That's probably true. But a brilliant question from Silverpunk, keeping it on the old stuff. What's your favourite Victorian coin? He's got mine right. He said mine, Gothic crown. I love it. I think the Gothics are gorgeous.
I just saw that comment as well, and I 100% agree. If money were no object, I'd
Yeah,
go and buy
yeah.
one
The
tomorrow.
Gothic crown, I think it's the 1940. Sorry, the 1847, isn't it? I think I said in previous lives it was 1845 and watched it back and cringed, which I always do when I say the wrong thing in a video. But as you all know yourself, it's so easy to slip up when you're saying things on the video. And a lot of the times you don't even notice until
But
somebody points it out to you. I've had a few people. I think I said sovereigns with 21 carat gold in one video, and I didn't even pick it up myself until I made a mistake about something else, and I put in the comments, "Can anyone spot the deliberate mistake?" And then somebody said that. I was like, "Oh no, that's not even the mistake I was talking about." I've done well on this one, haven't I? But it's very easily done. Scott Silver said, I honestly didn't know the groat was a real thing. Every day is a school day. On the back of that, just done some Googling, and now I want a Scottish dollar. Oh, yeah, absolutely. A Scottish dollar would be so cool to have
yeah,
for the collection. 100%. But yeah, so are we both saying for the Victorian coinage, it's the 1847 Gothic crown? Yeah, good call.
definitely, definitely. It's just a stunning coin.
It's
It
one I
really
want to.
is.
I want to own one day. I do want to own one day, and I'm
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those
yeah,
great
I'm
coins.
budgeting. I'm probably gonna like say, look, as long as I can get one for less than 10 grand, I'll probably and that's serious, genuinely serious. That's kind of
Yeah,
money you're looking at for those ones.
but
If you're going to spend the money, you might as well get a good version.
exactly. Yeah. Right. You'll have to just excuse me for one moment. I just need to make a quick
No problem at all,
loo
mate.
run. I'll be
You pop on and let me know when you're back.
cool.
Awesome.
I'll be back.
I'll have a look at some of these comments while we wait for CY to come back and see if I can answer any of them. But we'll obviously pass them over to CY when he gets back. So let's have a look. Seven picked up some of the smiley emoji rounds today. They are fun. They are fun. Seven. I've seen them. I can't remember why I saw them. Somebody. It might have been Cobra. Was discussing them with me some time ago, and I had a quick look at them. And they are super cool. Super fun things. Absolutely. King Charles is all about Welsh wildlife. Well, he's the Prince of Wales, so I'd like to hope so. What would be considered as Welsh wildlife, though, Lee? What kind of wildlife do you have over there that wouldn't necessarily be over here? Is there anything that's anything that's unique to Wales at all? Stephen said, do you prefer bars or coins, rounds to stack? Myself, it's coins, 100%, mate. If I get anything, one thing I do love, I love getting weird coins. So I love getting coins, bars that are actually coins, or little triangle-shaped coins, that kind of thing. The bat signal coin, because they all have monetary value, so they're all coins, even though they're weird shapes. So yeah, I'm a coin guy. I much prefer to get it as a coin if I can. But bars and rounds are cool. I'd probably say coins, bars, then rounds for me personally. But we'll pass that over to CY as soon as he gets back. Silverpunk thinks that Keith Floyd cooked and ate a puffin in one of his shows. Well, I mean, I can't. Yeah, possibly. I know people do eat puffins. I once saw. I think it was called Human Planet. It was a DVD nature documentary series, very similar to Our Planet by David Attenborough, but it wasn't a David Attenborough one. It was all about humans and nature and like different tribes all over the world, that kind of thing. And I can remember seeing one. They bury puffins for 6 months. Put them in the ground and bury them for 6 months, and then after 6 months they dig them back up and they eat them, and it's all about the meat being rotted away, and yeah, that was really, really weird. So I do know people eat puffins in very weird ways as well sometimes, but yeah. Moving on, 365 has a question. Thoughts on junk silver as an investment? I think it's brilliant. I don't like the term junk silver. No silver is truly junk, in my opinion. Junk silver would relate to things like constitutional silver over in the US and pre-decimal silver over here in the UK. It's the exact type of thing we're talking about. This coin right here, the silver $half, that would be called junk silver. All of these coins right here would be that's a double florin right there, half crown, double florin, another double florin. Ooh, that one's gone missing. That's a Canadian coin because I can see the reason I knew that was a Canadian coin straight away. Let me get it onto the image for you. Is that's King George the Fifth right there. However, what you'll see is he's wearing a crown. Now, the Canadian coinage did get King George V in a crown. We unfortunately didn't. We only had the one depiction of King George V, that was designed by Bertram Edgar McCullough, which is, brilliant, perfect. Look, so we had the non-crowned version. We love having non-crowned versions on our coins. Joking aside, it is actually a British tradition that male monarchs do not wear crowns on their coinage. They'll wear one on their coronation coin, but after that, there are some traditions when it comes to male monarchs in British coinage. All monarchs will they'll alternate the way they face on coins. So if you have one monarch facing to the left, the next monarch will face to the right and vice versa. The male monarchs don't wear crowns, nor do the female monarchs. They don't actually wear crowns. I can see CY's back, so we'll get him back in a second. Now, You may disagree with that, but what you'll see aren't crowns. They're like diadems or tiaras. They're not actually state crowns. So, the stuff you'll see with Queen Elizabeth II, like what she's wearing on her head right now is the state diadem. Right, so that's the state diadem. That's not technically a crown. So, it's a little bit different there. What CY's holding up to the camera, you can see we've got the two Georges, or the last two Georges anyway. We've got George V on the left and George VI on the right. The one on the left was designed by Bertram Edgar McCullough, and the one on the left was designed by Thomas Humphrey Paget, and two great designs of previous British monarchs there. The reason they're, just so you know, the reason they're both facing to the left is because there was the little known Edward VIII that stood between them. So you had George VI, Edward VIII, who was George VI's older brother, became king for a year, and less than a year, and then George VI became king, which is what gave us the year of 3 kings. So we actually had 3 kings in 1 year. It was either 1935 or 1936, because I think the coronation was actually the year after. So, sorry, buddy, were you going to say something there?
I think it was 36. But did he actually have any coinage?
Yes, no, he 100% did, mate. It's worth a lot of money. Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking if it made it into
there was absolutely some Edward VIII coins minted, and as I say, if you look at it now, so here we go, Edward VIII double florin, that's going for like 70 quid. Edward VIII pattern crown here. So yes, there are some Edward VIII coinage out there. It is very rare, and it does go for a lot of money. I think it was. I'm not entirely sure if it was ever put into circulation or not. I will have to. We'll definitely have to check that.
That might be what I'm thinking of. Yeah. But I mean, speaking of double florin, that was a coin that I didn't actually know existed until I saw it on one of your videos, and then I just had
absolutely brilliant coin. Great little date run because it's only got 4 coins in it. Which one do you have there, buddy?
Yeah. This is the 1889.
1890 right there. I've got all 4. I do have all 4. 1888, and I've lost one, so it's probably going to be that one. 1889. That's mine right there. So yours is in much better condition than mine is there, mate. That's a lovely condition. I think my best one is the 1887, which I think is the one that went to a little fly off the table. Oh, I found it. 1887, yeah. So that's actually in quite good nick. Do you know about these two variants of the 1887 double florin? Yeah.
No,
So
I know.
so
I'll be honest.
with the let's have a look. Okay, so it's all about the eye. Right here, I have the. You can see it's got a line at the top of the bottom. Now the other one looks.
Yeah.
This looks like an eye. It looks a little bit like an eye, so it's like a Roman numeral eye. But the other one has a Arabic one. So they go for a little bit more money. So there is actually a variant in that coin, and definitely something to look out for. If you do see one that's got it looks more like a number one than an eye. They are worth a lot more money than the ones with the eyes on them.
That's definitely good to know.
But they are a great coin, aren't they? They are a wonderful coin. One that I wasn't too aware of until fairly recently, purely because they're rare. There's only 4 years of them, so.
And now that you've said that, I might just have to pick up the other three.
I still need to get one of the variants of the eyes. So that's something I need to do. Okay, so we've had a few questions. I'm just going to go back. I answered a couple of them, so I'm just going to see if we can find them. I can remember one. What's your thoughts on junk silver? I can imagine you're just like me. You love it.
Yes, I mean, like you said, I caught the end of that. I don't like the term junk silver because silver's silver.
Yeah.
It can't be junk to me. I mean, I've got some US constitutional stuff here, half dollars and quarters. I've got some dimes, but I know some of the barber dimes and barber quarters are more on the collectible side because they have, slightly higher premiums, but I just love them. I just think they're really nice coins.
They are. When it comes to junk or constitutional and pre-decimal, I'm going to use junk anymore. I always look at it more as a collectible piece. I would hate to look at them as purely for their weight value. There's so much history in them. They've got so much more value than that to me.
Same. I mean, I really appreciate the fact that people do consider them, let's say, junk in inverted commas, and I can pick them up for close to spot, and I'll use that to my benefit all day long. But I just appreciate them that much more.
Okay, yeah, 100%. I'm with you, 1,000,000% there. Kimchi's asked a question. What does florin mean? It's actually quite interesting because florin is a term for a coin that's used quite all over the world at one point in time. I believe it comes from Italian or Latin originally. My understanding is florin means to blossom or flourish, is where the word comes from. What does florin mean? So florin actually means to blossom or flourish, but it was a denomination that was given to the 48 pence coin. So to the 24 pence coin. The double florin was 48 pence. So a shilling was worth 12 pence, and a florin was worth twice that, which was 24 pence, or 1/10 of a pound, because the pounds had 240 pennies to the pound back then.
Yeah, and I love that, trying to work out 240 pennies to a pound, and then dropping down the denomination, crowns and half crowns and florins, and work. It must have been, obviously, people that would trade in them at the time, obviously, were used to it, but trying to do it now is a nightmare. Trying to do that kind of math in my head.
It was as hard for them as it would be for us now. My dad's told me stories about when he went, in 1971, when he went to a shop, and the lady behind the counter is literally stood there with her hands in front of her, shrugging her shoulders with the till open, saying, "Just get what I owe you."
Yeah, I'd probably be the same. I have no capacity to do that kind of mental calculations in my head.
Yeah.
Just no. I'm so glad for the decimalization in that it made things easier.
Well,
but the
Well,
fact that it's
controversial opinion there. A lot of people, especially the people that were around prior to pre-decimal, actually prefer the pre-decimal system. They say that's real money, and the decimal system just ruined things. I think it's because we know the decimal system. It seems so much easier to us.
exactly, yeah.
If we brought up to it, it makes sense because everything's decimalised, everything's 1/10 of whatever, etc. So yeah, it definitely must have been very, very difficult going from the one from the one. Yeah,
To the other.
absolutely. I mean that would be because I still sometimes I still get caught out, like how many pennies were in three half crowns. It's like, well, hold on, it was the maths, and it can get very difficult in that respect. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the old coinage. I've got quite a lot of it in the collector's albums, that kind of thing. I do love it myself, and yeah,
It is
yeah,
nice. Yeah, right, I've just seen that Silverpunk has said he's popping out. So
brilliant. Yeah,
see
thanks
you.
very much for picking that up, mate.
Thanks.
It's been great having you here, Silverpunk. Thank you so much for coming across and joining us today. And you take care of yourself, buddy, and we'll see you on future stat chats. Born Skydive, I know the value, but thank you. I don't know where. Okay, so that was one for Florin. Yeah. So the word, as I said before, Kimchi, the word Florin basically means to blossom or flourish.
Oh,
But yeah, it's a very, very interesting coin with Florin. Is one that it's one of my favourites. I always say that my favourite old pre-decimal is probably the Florin or the half crown. They're both great coins.
yeah. I couldn't pick a favorite. I do like them
Yeah,
both.
no, absolutely, and there's some designs on the Florin that I prefer, or there's some designs on the half crown, and vice versa. But it was. Yeah, Kimmy says a sov was £1 daily coinage for decades. Sovereign was the equivalent of a pound. The term a pound literally comes from a pound of sterling silver. So a pound's weight of sterling silver was the value of £1 sterling, and that's where the term pound sterling comes from. So back then, the first pound we ever got municipally was the pound note. When we were using pound notes, there wasn't a pound coin in existence, and it just referred to the same value as £1 weight of silver. And yes, 100% right. A florin is 2 bob. A shilling was a bob, and a florin was 2 bob. The 3p or threepenny bit was a joey. 6p was a tanner, if I'm remembering correctly. These are all the old nicknames for the old coinage. But yeah,
Those,
sorry,
sorry.
mate.
Those old nicknames I've heard of, like
Yeah,
Bob, 2 Bob, but I wouldn't know what they refer to. So this is education to me as
and
well now.
so a shilling might have been also known as half a bob. So you got
Okay.
half a bob, which is a shilling. Sorry, a 6p would have been half a bob. A shilling was the bob, and the florin was 2 bob. But a 6p was also known as a tanner. Not a tenner, a tanner. But yeah, that's something my dad taught me. He always calls 6p tanners, and I always just get confused. 240 was divisible by many ways. 100 is quite limited, says Jamie Frost. Yeah, that's true. It's as I say, a lot of people who were referenced to the old system preferred the old system. I fully understand that, and it's like I said, we only know the new system, so we can't really compare very well. But there was a lot of benefits to the old monetary system. I know to us it makes it seems like a no-brainer. Well, it should have just been decimalised forever, but there was a lot of sense to it.
Mm.
Oh, okay. These are ones that I've never heard of. Someone said a threepenny bit was a tray. Sorry, a 6p was a zac,
Right, yeah.
a shilling a dinar. However, 1 shilling was 1 bob. Yeah, I mean the ones I know, as I say, would have been Joey, Tanner, Bob, 2 bob. Yeah,
Never
yeah.
many of those.
But yeah, fun little trivia fact there, for anyone who's into old coins.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to bullying, and it's coming up to 2 hours, so we're going to be doing a couple of giveaways soon, guys. Just so everyone knows. Personally, I gave away a little bit of silver last week, so I thought we'd go on to commemorative 50p's this week, and I've got a full set of all four of the Beatrix Potter 50p's right here. So actually you've got the 2017 Peter Rabbit, the 2017 Tom Kitten, the 2017 Mr. Jeremy Fisher, and the 2017 Jeremy Bunny. So they're all going to be popped together as one prize. Now, see why I think you said you have a little something you'd like to give away as well, didn't you?
I do. So I thought, as I know that you like to do a little giveaway every week, I would also contribute. So I thought I would give away. Oops. Let me just put down. I'm also trying to hold the cigar in the other hand, so let me just put that down for a second. Right. So we have a little 1 gram.
Very nice.
999 silver.
That's.
And this is the Silver Eagle replica.
I can see it's like so it's a replica. It wouldn't be like a fractional Silver Eagle.
No, it's just a 1
cool.
gram. I think it actually says copy on it somewhere.
Okay.
It's tiny.
No, it's still cool though, isn't it? It's still, you can see you got the Walking Liberty on there, which is absolutely awesome. So yeah, that's a really cool piece. Yeah.
It's actually hearing design. It's
little
exactly
bit gutted I can't enter myself, guys. That's wonderful. That is, but we'll probably do yours. Do you want to do yours first or last? Which way round do you want to do it?
I think we'll want to do yours first, because I haven't figured out how to do mine. So let's do yours, and then we'll do mine shortly after.
Well, I'm good to go on mine. So it's been an hour and 3/4. I think that's a good enough time to have made everyone wait for a giveaway. What do you think?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Sounds like a plan.
Well, I'm doing it now, Homestead Aquarius. So if you want to stay for the 50p one, at least that's going to be happening in the next few seconds. Because unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing a duck race this week, Lee. I'm back to the original TSC. I've got something written down, and first one to answer correctly wins a prize. It's a question that I asked for. We might do a duck race later. I'm not sure yet, but for this one at least, it's going to be a question, and it's one that I asked CY Sterling to ask, which he very kindly has given. A coin that we've referred to quite a lot throughout our conversation today is this one right here, which is the Libertad. Now that's for Libertad. So to win all four of the 2017 Beatrix Potter 50p's, I just need the first person to let me know which country has the Libertad as its official bullion coin. First person to correctly answer in the chat wins those 450p's. It's open to everybody all over the world, doesn't matter where you are. Good luck and go. So we just have to wait for the slight lag there, but I think we're going to get an answer very quickly on this one. I think people know where the Libertad's from. They surely must do. Dog from Darth. I love it. Jamie Frost has just won himself four 50p's from the 2017 Beatrix Potter range, and just to confirm that, I think we all know he was right anyway, but it was, of course, Mexico. So that's very well done, Jamie. I'm really glad to see you've won that, mate, and that's great. So I'll get those out to you in the post on Monday, Jamie. That's it's wonderful that you've won something. Jamie's always been very heavily interacted with my channel. He's been a great supporter from the very start of the channel. I think he actually, if I remember correctly, Jamie won my 100 subscriber giveaway, and that was at a time where I was only shipping to the UK, and internationally I was giving out vouchers, and Jamie very kindly said that he wanted me to donate the vouchers to a dog home. So I went out and what's the big dog charity over here? But is it Battersea Dog Home? Yeah, it was Battersea Dog Home. I donated to the Battersea
Yeah.
Dog Home for Jamie. So he's a really, really nice, kind, and generous guy, Jamie. So I'm really happy to see his one there. But
Well,
yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, thank you to everyone who took part there. There will, of course, be another small giveaway next week. I've not yet decided what it's going to be next week, and I do try and mix it up. This week it's been commemorative 50p's. Last week it was silver sixpences, and the week before that was a World War One date run of old pennies. So they are mainly fun giveaways. I do like to pick a winner every week because I think it's a lot of fun. But we'll leave it a little while until we do yours, Darth. It's just great to get one winner at least. And I just want to say, Darth has very generously offered to do the giveaway all off his own back. He obviously has no obligation to do that. So I just want to say a massive thank you to Darth for being kind enough to give away such a wonderful looking coin. Sorry, mate. I'm just writing down Jamie Frost for the winner. Did I ever tell you what happened to me with my live giveaways? Yeah, so what happened was, it was around the time of the house move, and I did in a week I did a few lives, and I did a few giveaways per live, so up to 5 giveaways per live, and I forgot to write who won what, so I had to watch 11 hours of my own footage.
I think I was up for the 24-hour live. Yeah. Because I was gonna say I remember another situation where you might have said something similar. I think because I won a little something in one of your
Yes, you did.
giveaways
Yes.
a while back.
What was it?
I've actually got it right here. It's 1917.
Oh, brilliant! There
penny.
you go, then. There we go. Is it just for 17 you've got?
I've actually got a couple of 1901s
Well, I'll send you.
as well.
What I'll do is, you've got the 17 off me already. I'll send you 14, 15, 16, and 18, and that's the World War One date run complete for you.
Oh, mate, that's
No,
very
that's
kind of you. Thank
you're
you.
giving away a bit of silver on my live, mate. So it's the least I can do, buddy. Oh, John Ingham's joined us in the flat. John Ingham has joined us in the Stack chat. It's great to see you here, John. Stephen's been in the chat for ages. I'm not sure if I've said hello to Stephen. A little bit of a spoiler for everybody. Now I'm quite nervous about next week's Stack chat. And the reason I'm nervous is I have a bit of a gobby northerner coming on, and he knows I'm joking. But no, I'm very, very proud to say that next week's Stack Chat, which will be back to 7 p.m. next Saturday, is going to be with Stephen, who's another amazing content creator from the UK. The week after that, which is going to be the first week in December the 2nd, I'm not going to give away too many spoilers, but we're going international for the first time on a Stack Chat on the 2nd of December. And we're going to be having a USA creator come over. So I'm really looking forward to those. But that being the case, let's keep our minds in the present, because I do have an amazing guest on with me right now, which is, of course, C.Y. Sterling. So, yeah, how have you found it tonight, mate? Because this is your first ever real live, isn't it?
It is. I'll be honest with you. I've been okay all week. Looking forward to it. I got a little bit nervous about 5 minutes before you first rang. But then that all kind of just went away. It's been a really, really nice chat. You know, very, very relaxed.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really enjoying it. You're a great host.
Thank you, mate. I really do appreciate that. I mean, a host can only do so much. I've been so lucky with the guests I've had on up to yet. All 3 of you have been incredible. Yourself, APM, and CoinNoob. All 3 of you are more than invited to come back on at a later date. I'm trying to get different creators in as much as I can for now, but I obviously do want to have some people coming back at a later date so we can talk again in the future. But I will definitely be popping your name on that list, mate.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I mean, it's nice to kind of keep changing it up, talk with different people, and have a few of us on
Yeah,
rotation would be
absolutely,
great.
absolutely. That's what I thought. It keeps things fresh. I think it's great to discuss the differences in opinions. Like it reminds me of. Did you see Future Investments video from? I think was it yesterday or today? He,
Which one
he
was
did a
that?
bit.
Remind me.
It was either yesterday or today, and I've spent the last 2 days in bed. I've really been struggling today, so it was a bit of an effort to get on this one. But he did a video basically about other people and the advice that they give and whether or not that's going to be good advice or bad advice. And I thought it was a brilliant video. I mean, Future always creates such great content, but it was a really, really thought-provoking video.
I do enjoy Future's videos. I must have missed that one, but if it's recent, I'll definitely go back and check it out because I'll be honest, like because I drive for a living, so it's easy for me to kind of just put videos on and have just listen to them.
Yes,
the podcasts.
Yeah.
So whenever I've got an 8-hour shift, I just put videos on and catch up with
Sorry, mate,
all the videos.
Just 1 second. It just looks like Homestead Aquarius is on their way out, so I just want to say a quick goodbye to them before they go. But yeah, sorry about that, mate.
That's right, yeah. So thanks for joining us, Homestead. But yeah, so it's just a case of whatever videos I might like. If I miss a video today, I've actually had the day off. So if something gets posted today and I miss it because I'm doing like housework or some DIY or whatever, then tomorrow when I'm at work, I'll put everything in a playlist and then just hit play and have it on in the background. So I always kind of play catch up while I'm at work. So it's a great...
Yeah, I 100% know what you mean there. I'm very much the same. I very regularly will have videos on in the background while I'm doing things, and I'll just be listening away to them. It is a great way to watch a lot of the content 100%. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so have you thought of any questions for myself as of yet, based on our chat, or?
Well, I've actually got Mrs. CY sitting here with me, and she's offered to give me a hand with it, and she's holding a deck of cards. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw a card from a small selection from the deck. I'll have a quick look at it, and I'll keep it on screen, and then the first person to guess the card.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Absolutely. So quite similar, but you're going to be putting a card face down on screen. The first person to guess which card that is gets to win the 1 gram Walking Liberty Silver Eagle, which is a wonderful little coin.
So this is what's coming up. So I've told she's picked out all the spades. So I'll be drawing
so 365, you've got no chance, mate. Guys, come on, give a guy a chance.
So let's just pick a card. Go with this one here. Let me have a quick look at it.
It's not going to be 4 of diamonds or 10 of clubs or the 6 of hearts. Lee's in with a chance. Are we saying it's just open? Yeah, okay. Right, we've got guesses coming. We've had 2 guys. It's a spade. It can't be a diamond or a heart. 2.
7 wins.
Is it 7? Oh wow! Look at that. 7's lucky number 7 has come through. How fitting is that? It was won by 7. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. 7, you can stop. You've won. It's all good. It's 7's putting for 7 of hearts now. That was a lot of fun actually, mate. That was a lot of fun. So well done, 7. I assume you'd like 7 to contact you via email directly for addresses, etc.
Yeah. 7. If you pop over to my channel, my email address is in my videos or in my about page. So drop me an email with your details and I'll get that out to you. Now, you'll have to please bear with me because being in Cyprus, our postal service here is horrendous. So it might take a little while but I will get it out to you as soon as possible.
Brilliant.
So expect
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. CY, do you have a spare Stack Collector sticker? Do you only have the one? Is that in use at the moment, or can I replace that if you send it to Seven? Okay, so if you send me one of my channel stickers with the silver coin, I'm going to be sending you the pennies anyway. So I'll send you some replacement channel stickers with that, mate.
Okay. Yeah. So 7, that's on its way to you as soon as you get me your details.
Awesome. That was great. That was so generous of you, mate. I just wanted to. Obviously, there's no obligation for any guest to ever give away anything on the channel. So thank you to anyone who comes across and does such generous things as giveaways, etc. So, mate, thank you so much on behalf of myself, and thank you for providing a little bit of fun for everybody. I can see Ray's popped up in the chat. Ray's a great guy. He's the guy I got the mystery box from.
Yeah.
Speaking of mystery boxes, I have a little bit of a mystery in front of me. Shall we do a little bit of a mail call? Yeah, so this actually landed on my doorstep yesterday. I got a new coin yesterday. I've had one of the new Star Wars. It's the Leia and Luke coin. So I was too ill. I've been too ill to actually review it, but I did get this. One thing I have become recently since starting the channel is that I've started collecting stamps because I get sent stuff with cool stamps on them, and I've just started collecting them. So that's interesting. But I have literally no idea where this has come from. So let's get it open and we will find out what is inside. I've got one idea what it might be. I know somebody's sending me one thing, so it might be that. Yeah, okay, so TSV from APM. Now, this is quite a funny story because I contacted APM because I know he's got some 50p's. And I'm going to be sending APM a sticker and a few bits. And so I contacted APM and said, hey, mate, let me know what commemorative 50p's you haven't got. I'll have a look through and I'll pick some out to send across to you. And he got back to me to say, oh, well, thanks, mate. I don't actually really collect the 50p's. I've just got a few. So rather than me sending him any, he's actually ended up sending me both the badminton and the Boccia 50p from the Olympic, the 2011 Olympic series. So yeah, what a cool pair of pickups there. Thank you so much, APM, mate. It really was generous of him. These are two that I don't have in the Olympic collection as of yet. The Olympics are the only ones that I don't have all of the circulating coins yet. So that's absolutely brilliant to get them through, mate. Thank you so much. But it did make me laugh that I contacted him to give him some 50p's and ended up walking away with more myself. So it goes to...
But you see,
sorry,
I was going to say, this is what... And like you said, obviously no one's obliged to give anything away, but this is the sense of community and the generosity. So it's a no-brainer for me to do a little something as well.
That's great of you, mate. It really is, and obviously, I love the generosity in this community. And I've just I got a bit distracted. TSE Mrs. 365 said, "You sound like Gary Barlow." Well, thank you. I mean, he was a singer, so he must have an okay voice. Which one was Gary Barlow? I don't know. He was the one that went on to be a songwriter.
Gary Barlow.
I'm going to Google it.
Possibly.
I'm going to Google it. Gary Barlow, of course, was one of the members of Take That. Yes, he was. Gary Barlow was he was like the most famous one. Him and Robbie were the biggest two, and he's the one who he went on to be very, very successful as a songwriter. So thank you very much, Mrs. 365. I really appreciate that. I do. Stephen has said, as a tight Yorkie, I'm very reluctant to give anything away, but I will give something very special away next. Oh, Stephen, thank you very much, mate. That's really, really generous of you. And bits and bobs, I don't know if your ears are burning. I was saying we needed you early in the chat. What was it? Was it 1818? Wasn't it? It was the standardisation of the crowns and the British pre-decimal coin. Just confirm, buddy. Was it 1880 that they standardised the UK coinage? I seem to remember 1880, but I think I saw Jamie put 1817 in the in the comments. But I thought the first year of the new stuff was 1818. But let us know on that bits and bobs if you can, mate. That would be really, really appreciated. He was the one who went on to stack silver. Who, Gary Barlow? Yeah, obviously, because here I am. Yeah, no. Bits and bobs. They have a great coin collecting channel. It does have silver. It has quite a lot of silver in it because they stay more to pre-decimal than the decimal coin is. So obviously there's a lot of silver in amongst that. But yeah, it is. It's great. I was letting everyone know about your quiz earlier, bits and bobs, because I thought that was great. I really did think it was a lot of fun. We're probably going to have to do some sort of quiz over here at some point, but I'll work on that going forwards. It really has been a great chat tonight, mate. I really have enjoyed it, and we've found a couple of winners, which is always an absolute bonus. So we do a watch test. So we see if my new watch is still working, because it's it's something. Yes. I don't know if everybody saw that video, but how disappointed was I when it wasn't ticking. One thing I have noticed about this watch is, although it does work, what you have to do is you have to wind it up a little bit, then it won't work. I mean, all you have to do is just give it the very, very slightest of oh, can I get it to work now? Here we go. Yeah, give it the slightest tiny little shake as soon as it's been wound up, and then it gets itself moving, and that's what caused the issue originally, where I wound it up. It was good to go. It just, for some reason, it just needs a tiny little shake to get it going after it's had a while. But yeah, still working great. Okay. So Bits and Bobs says starting minting in 1816 for sixpences, up to half crown in 1817 for release of sovereigns. Oh yes, so I was right in the crowns, because we were talking about crowns, because it was your 1818 crown. Yeah. So I was right for the crown, but 1817 for sovereigns, 1816 for the sixpences. So so I was kind of right. I was right in what I said anyway.
Yeah. You were right about 100%. The crown. That's definitely. Sorry. Before we get too much further along, I did see a question from 365 earlier on regarding Mrs. CY. What does Mrs. CY think about stacking? About me stacking? Yeah, she's quite supportive.
Sorry, buddy. Just before you answer that, and thank you for picking that up, because I missed that myself. So thank you for picking that up. But APM is leaving, so let's just do a very quick goodbye to him before you answer. APM, it's always a pleasure to have you here, mate. You're a great guy. Thanks for joining us. You take care, and I'll speak to you very soon, my friend.
Yeah, APM, thanks for popping in. Take care and all the best.
Brilliant. So you were talking about you answering 365 question about what does Mrs. CY think to your stacking? Yeah.
CY, yeah. She's not particularly into coins, but she sees that it's a hobby that I enjoy, and she's incredibly supportive, especially when I tell her that I've spent X amount on a couple of coins or even just one coin. But yeah, I bought her a couple of the Harry Potter 50p's for her birthday in August. So yeah, she's quite okay.
Yeah, that's great. It's brilliant to be supported by your partner, isn't it? But it's one thing it's one thing I've always found is amazing with Cobra Stacker, because he obviously he gets a lot of support from Mrs. Cobra, and I think that's great too. Yeah, anytime I see anybody's partner supporting them, I love to see that, and I think it's because my last partner couldn't give two damns about anything I was into.
You know what?
Go on, mate.
I'll put a little another little personal kind of bit of feedback in. My ex Mrs. really wouldn't stand for this right now, so I totally understand where you're coming from, and I'm lucky that my current partner, she's amazing in like supporting the things that I enjoy, and I support her in what she does. So it's a much more healthy relationship. So I'm thankful for that.
Absolutely. I always say it's important to support your partner. I mean, there's been times where I've said to my partner in the past, I don't necessarily agree with what they're doing, and I'll try and give them advice. But if they're adamant that's what they want to do, regardless of what I think, I'm going to support you 100% in it.
Exactly. If it's what you enjoy, then as long as it's not kind of detrimental to anything in the relationship or whatever, then yeah, fine.
Absolutely. I think it really is so good to see when you see people supporting the partners, whichever way around it is. Kimchi said something. I want to bring this up because this isn't just Kimchi or Ray, because Ray totally agrees. There's a guy that follows my channel and other channels, James Reel. I know he's very passionate. He feels very strongly about this. A lot of people have gone off coins just because well, I'm not saying just because, but they've gone off because of King Charles being on them. He's such a hugely unpopular monarch.
I've gotten the same opinion as well. Sorry, I've gotten the same feedback from other people. I'm not necessarily of that opinion. I'm not as fussed. I obviously prefer the older coins with Queen Elizabeth. King Charles is not my favourite, but I still enjoy the coins for what they are, not necessarily for the monarch that's on.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I call that, which is the reverse, the fun side of the coin, because it's the side you always see, isn't it? I mean, which is why I'm not bothered that King Charles is on there. I don't think it's the best design. I don't think his portrait's the best. I'm not a huge fan of the guy. I don't hate him. I haven't got anything massively against him. But yeah, I mean, I think the problem is when you come on after such a popular act, and let's be honest, Queen Elizabeth was a popular monarch. She had more people who liked her than didn't. So yeah, it's.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, to me, it's no comparison. It's a much better portrait.
Yeah.
You can't.
No,
argue
I don't
that.
think you can.
But like you said, I don't buy coins for the obverse. I buy them for the designs on the reverse. I mean, these are just standard Britannias, but that's the side that you kind of enjoy more. So I'm not that fussed. I mean, I'll be honest with you. The Martin Jennings portrait isn't the worst. I've seen others that are worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this one's not horrendous, but yeah, I mean, I just pick up the coins for the fun side.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but to me, it isn't ever going to. I'd have to have some real deep-seated hatred towards the monarch for it to stop me buying the coin, because I'm in it for the love of coins. We've had 7 stacks and also Long Live Coins join us. So hello to both of you guys. Thank you so much for popping across.
Hello.
So. You've when you say you bought a few of the Harry Potter coins for your missus, were they the silver proofs or the bunk coins?
They were just the bunk coins. My budget wouldn't stretch to getting her the set of the silver proofs.
Yeah, fair enough. The bunks are beautiful. Did you go for the coloured or the non-coloured?
Yeah.
Who's got them to hand? It's what we like. I don't have mine to hand, actually. I put them in the other room a little earlier on today. Here we go.
Yeah, no, I just went for the plain ones.
Where's the plastic wrapper on them? I'm confused.
She took it out. She wanted to be able to read the information inside. So I was like, yeah, they're your coins. You can do. She's a big Harry Potter fan.
Yeah. So
she wanted to, fully absorb all of the literature printed in the booklets. So
yeah, and I'm getting really into that. I always used to skip the pamphlet, and I think it was the first ever silver proof, or the first modern silver proof. The one that's which one was it? It's the one that comes in a green case. It's I believe it's the coronation. The 19. No, because they weren't doing. They weren't doing silver proofs, and it would have been 67. So it would have been. I could walk out, take 3 steps over there and look at it. But yeah, I think, but either way, it was that coin that I actually read the pamphlet through, and it was like, wow, these things are actually got a lot of information and really interesting. So yeah, no, it's I'm really loving reading the pamphlets myself now. So I was just joking about the plastic seed. Oh,
No, but
yeah.
I do.
I do keep all of mine in. I do keep all mine in the plastic sleeve. Even if I take them out to read them, I'll put them back in the plastic sleeve after I'm done. That's just to keep it. Yeah. Right. Okay. Question from Bits and Bobs. Who here has been to the Royal Mint experience in Wales? I haven't, Bits and Bobs. Should we get over there? Should we do a meet up in the Royal Mint? I was going to do that. For my 500 subscriber giveaway, for my 500 subscriber face reveal, but around the same time the London Coin Fair was happening, so me and Cobra decided to go down to the London Coin Fair and meet up in person that way. But I would definitely love to do the Royal Mint experience. I want to start going to do the Strike Your Owns. I think I want to start collecting Strike Your Own coins. Have you seen them? Have you seen them? Do you know what I mean by Strike Your Own?
Yeah, I do, and I'd love to do the Royal Mint experience as well, but unfortunately, I'll need to plan a longer trip to the UK. So maybe next time I'm over, I'll come for more than a week and plan that.
I do.
Really
I do. I think the Royal Mint would be really fun. I'm not going to tell them who I am when I'm there, because I speak the truth about the Royal Mint, and I don't hold back.
Yes.
Speaking of which, Royal Mint, what are they doing? Do you realise that we have now had 3 of the 4 Star Wars releases since July this year? That's too much.
Yes.
That's too quick. That is too quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
For me, it's funny how they release the Star Wars coins like in such quick succession, but then other coins that people are waiting on take months, and I don't understand why they just put them on the back burner.
Okay, so
I know.
So one of the reasons for that, I can actually answer that, having spoken to the Royal Mint about this, because I've had quite a few conversations in the past with them about things. But what will happen is they mint commemorative coins at a weekend. So say they're going to mint 10,000. Like the maximum mint is 10,000. Now they don't mint 10,000 then put them on sale. They mint them in batches. So every weekend they'll mint so many of each coin. So sometimes you'll get them really, really early, because you'll get one of the first batches, and then other times you have to wait for later batches to be done, because when they say a maximum mintage, that's the maximum mintage they will mint. Now, like if they do one batch and then nobody buys any more, then there's a chance that they're not even going to mint the full maximum amount. But that's one of the reasons that's been explained to me by the Royal Mint themselves. So I can only pass on what their customer service advisor at the Mint has told me. I questioned that back during the Dumbledore Potter release, because that was taking a stupid amount of time to get out to people, and back then it was all to do with the death of Queen Elizabeth II, because obviously they had so many coins that they had to basically just melt down.
Yeah, that's fairly understandable, because they had other things to kind of deal with, so I get that. But I mean, the other thing that I don't understand with the Royal Mint is things like they released 3 Star Wars coins since, was it June, July?
Yeah.
But then things like the Tudor Beasts, the bullion especially, they take so long between releases.
Yeah, they do. And to have had the Star Wars coins, basically, is they brought out a new coin every 2 months. So the first one came out in July, in August, next one in September, October, next one in November. So we're bringing them out every 2 months. That's just a bit too quickly for me. It doesn't give people a lot of time to to save money between purchases. Now, it's not a massive issue to me, but I just think, you're pricing out a lot of people that would probably love to. Yeah, and they may be able to afford the coins individually, but when when you're bringing them out that quickly, I mean, I kind of made I made a bit of a faux pas when it comes to the Star Wars. I went deep into the Star Wars. I'm a big fan of the original series. I kind of regretted not getting the 1 ounce coins of the Harry Potter. So for the Star Wars ones, I've gone out and got I've got both the bunk coins. I've got the 50p silver proof and the 1 ounce silver proof. And for the first release, the C3PO, I've actually got 2 of every one. So I've got 2 of each bunk coins, 2 of each silver 50p's, and two of each silver 1 ounces. So I think the Star Wars collection has cost me about $1,000. Yeah.
Wow.
So when you bring them out that quickly, it can affect people. It can be difficult. I think people who are on low incomes should be able to collect these coins as well. Nobody should be priced out from them. They're wonderful things, and they should be enjoyed by everybody.
No, I totally agree. They should kind of pace themselves, because obviously not everyone's going to collect everything, but you should give people a chance to be able to pick up things that they want to at a reasonable pace.
Absolutely. You shouldn't feel a difficulty to pick them up. The amazing 365 Days of Silver, he's jumping off. It says it's been a fantastic stack chat. He's going to catch up on the rest tomorrow. Well, thank you so much for being here, 365. You've posted some amazing questions tonight, so thank you so much for your interaction. It's always a massive pleasure to have you over here in the chats. It is a great, he's a great guy, isn't he? And it's great to have a chat with him. Hopefully one day I'll be able to wind him down into appearing on one of these stack chats, but we do know that 365 Days of Silver is not one for doing the live. So I'll try, guys. I can promise to try. I've said to 365 I respect his decision to not do it, so I'm not going to put too much pressure on him, but obviously there's an open invite for 365 here.
I do think a live with 365 would be amazing, but like I said, for the time being, it's always appreciated to see him in the comments. He's always posting great comments, great questions, and he's supported me from day one. He's the one who encouraged me to start the channel, so I'll always be thankful to him for that.
Jamie Frost is also going because the sun is coming up. The rising sun is rising in the rising sun.
Yeah.
So, sorry. So I just want to say, domo arigato, Jamie-san. It's been a pleasure to have you here, my friend. It is always a pleasure, and especially to have Jamie here, because Jamie has contacted me outside YouTube to let me know that he was struggling on previous lives to actually be part of the chat. So I'm so happy to see he's figured that out. I was thinking about him earlier today, and it's great to see you there. Couldn't agree more with Seven right there, who says 365 has an awesome channel. He really does. He really does. I think if I ever got 365 on, you'd probably hear the very least from me, because I'd just be like, well, 365, say what you got to say. Take the role, mate. I'm going to sit back and shut up and let you and listen to your wisdom. But Stephen's not a fan of Star Wars. That's fine. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of the new stuff. I am an old school Lucasfilms Star Wars fan. I like the old stuff. I think personally, maybe controversial, but I think the quality of Star Wars has depreciated every single new release. I
agree more, and I've actually not seen the last couple of movies, and then there's like all the standalone series, and I've caught bits of it here and there, but it doesn't draw me in like the original trilogy does.
Not at all. Now, The Mandalorian's good. Okay. I mean, it's very popular. I mean, I can see why The Mandalorian. I watched quite a bit of The Mandalorian.
I get it. But it doesn't have the same... Yeah, no.
Well, the problem is, back then, right, we had no special effects. We had no CGI. I mean, CGI did it. CGI has existed for ages. It's been in films for decades, but it wasn't really there, and certainly not CGI as what we know of these days. So I think back then you had to have a good storyline with believable actors. You had to have it to be a good film. So I think this isn't just Star Wars. This is cinema in its entirety. I think they're far too concerned on making these big explosions, big practical and special effects. While people over with the flashing lights, and I think a lot of the time the storyline of the acting suffers because of it.
I totally agree. I mean, I love movies, and I'm a big fan of 80s and 90s, especially like action movies. I'm a big fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Stallone. I mean, my favorite movie of all time is Terminator 2.
Can I just say,
and
that's one of mine. My favorite movie of all time is Aliens. So the other. Yeah, the reason I say that is they're the two. I mean, it's probably changed a little bit now, but back in the day, like they were the only two examples you could ever give of a sequel being at least as good as the original.
Yep. I mean, a lot of people say the same thing with Empire Strikes Back, taking it back to Star Wars for a second, being a better movie as a sequel. But like I said, there's very, very few occasions where a sequel's better than the original. But I think Aliens is one, Terminator 2 is definitely one. And for me, that was kind of a great time in movies because you had great storytelling, great visuals, great camera work, and it wasn't just. I mean, CGI did play a part, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. To be honest with you, the original Star Wars were pretty much entirely practical effects.
Yeah, but they're kind of like late 70s, so CGI wasn't really a thing.
No, it was very rare. It was in movies. A lot of the time, it was mostly there to put like stuff like text on screen and stuff like that. That was early day CGI. Tron is one of the that's a real pioneering film of CGI. There was a lot of CGI in Tron.
Yeah, that takes me back. I love the original Tron.
I do, and I actually think the sequel was really good too.
I'll be brutally honest. I haven't seen it. I really want to.
Definitely worth watching. They get Jeff Bridges back. Basically they go back to Tron. They go back to the place because Tron's a person, isn't it? He's in it. Tron is in it very, very briefly. The character Tron.
Okay.
But he goes back there and he has to get his way back out. It's it's interesting. It's visually beautiful. I'm not going to compare it to the original, but it definitely worth watching if you do like the original one. Well, going back to Aliens, this is a fun fact. Do you know how James Cameron pitched Aliens?
I did know this, but
okay. Yeah, I'll remind you, and for anybody in the chat who didn't know, so he had a room full of movie executives and producers, and his entire pitch for the film was he walked over to the board, wrote the word alien in reference to the original Ridley Scott film. Yep, and then after Alien, he just all he did was wrote the letter S to turn it into aliens, and then drew two vertical lines through the S, turn it into a dollar sign. Yeah,
the sign. Yeah, that's a great fun.
Yeah, I just love how he just owned it like a boss. Just walked in like, that. All right.
That's the thing. Cameron, James Cameron, he's done stuff like that. I think when he was pitching the first Terminator, he literally had an actor. It wasn't Arnie, it was someone else. I can't remember who right now. Dress up as the Terminator and literally go and kick in the door at the executive's office and just stand there as the Terminator while he pitched the movie.
Do you know he illegally filmed quite a bit of that? Yeah, because he didn't have a license, did he, to film in the public, and he got caught by a police officer, and without having a license. So what they did is they had a student on the set, a student filmmaker, and there was like a loophole in the law that student filmmakers for a student project didn't have to have a license for filming. So we got this student, got him over and said, "No, officer, we're doing it for this student's project." And just imagine what that officer must have thought 6 months later when you got this huge blockbuster movie and he's like, hey, yo, he told me that was a student flick. But,
Brilliant. But
yeah.
see you later,
Well,
bye
Lee,
then.
if you let us know what kind of guns you think are cool, we might be able to discuss that because Lee said talk about cool guns. And yeah,
Guns.
yeah.
Ooh. See, all guns, like mind instantly goes to the minigun that Arnie holds in Terminator 2, and they also
I
use
was going to
in
say, do
Predator.
you, that minigun didn't actually exist before Predator. It comes
That's
off
right.
an Apache gunship. It's the chain gun from Apache
Yep.
gunship, and we want it to look so cool. So they actually had to invent the hand-carried minigun for Jesse Ventura's character, and they did so
That's
by
right.
mounting it's the stock and mount of an M16 assault rifle onto a chain gun from an Apache helicopter. So yeah, I thought that was a really really cool fact from there as well.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. You know, just those kind of movies. Just they were my upbringing. You know, my childhood. I used to love watching all those 80s and 90s action
Yeah.
movies. Um, I just seen Lee Parola put
Oh
Starship
yes.
Troopers. And that's another classic. I
Well,
love that as
what I
well.
love about Starship Troopers. Before we go into that, I just want to say, Coin Noob said that he may do a live 50p hunt from his accommodation near the Mint next Saturday, that's super cool. Please do that, Coin Noob. I will make sure I'm there to watch if you do, mate. That would be amazing. Absolutely. Starship Troopers. Now it's the satire to it that I love. It's a
That's right.
parody of of the Nazis. There's a lot. If
Yeah.
you look back at the film, the uniform they wear, the symbols and images they
Yeah.
have the Nazi eagle there, or the German eagle, and it's supposed to be like a military kind of society. Yeah,
Mhm.
which is kind of
Yeah.
a bit of a dictatorship kind of thing. But there's a lot of connotations to Starship Troopers beyond it just being a fun shoot 'em up sci-fi movie.
That, that's exactly what I like about it. It's like you can either go into it and kind of read the subplot and take away all these messages, or you can kind of switch your brain off and just enjoy it for just a dumb action movie,
Yeah,
against bugs.
absolutely.
So it's the same with
Yeah,
RoboCop.
yeah. No, it is absolutely.
There's a lot of underlying messages in RoboCop. A lot of it was a lot of religious imagery and whatever else,
Yeah,
resurrection,
yeah,
and that stuff. But then it's an
yeah.
80s action movie, so it's just
But that's what I'm talking about.
great
These
stuff.
older films, they're deep. They have different levels to them. You can't
Yeah,
just watch them at face. Well, you can just watch them at face value, but you can also not just watch them at face value. You can.
exactly. You can take them however the mood takes you. Like if you just fancy watching the action side of it, you can just sit back, put on a dumb action flick, and just
Yeah,
switch off. Or if you want something to kind of stimulate you on a slightly more intellectual, like, all right, maybe not intellectual, but kind of with a bit more
yeah,
substance,
yeah.
it's also there. So it's
Sorry, just coughing there, mate.
yeah,
Sorry, what were you saying, buddy?
no, I was
Oh,
just
okay.
ending on that. It's like it's that kind of duality of
Yeah,
these movies
yeah. But
sometimes.
I just want to just going on to Stephen's comment there that Lord of the Rings was a parody of World War One. Now, apparently,
Yeah,
J.R.R. Tolkien did say that the Lord of the Rings was not an analogy of World War One, but also I have heard that it is. So I'm not sure. I mean, I can definitely understand why.
yeah.
TSC, do you want a snowman? Yes, I do. Coordinate, please. Cost price, if that's possible. I really appreciate that, buddy. Thank you so much. It's all right. Yeah, he was asking if I want to strike your own at cost price with him going to the Royal Mint. So that would be brilliant. Thank you very much for that, mate. But again, yeah. So I don't know with World War One. I can understand why it would be. I can definitely see the relations. But I do know that in an interview, J.R.R. Tolkien said it wasn't, and it was just a standalone fantasy. But I don't know if you could say that. Could you actually survive through World War One and then not have it influence things going forward?
Exactly. You put something of the experience, kind of even subliminally, in the movie, so it's easy to kind of see both sides of that.
Absolutely. So I don't know. I think it had to have been. Even if the author's saying no, it wasn't an analogy of that. It has to have at least been heavily influenced for it, even if it was subconsciously. He's got to be. So, Sign Your Own is £899. He. What have I just signed myself into? But let's hope not. If it is, it best be gold. If it's £899, mate. I know that much. It will be my first ever Strike Your Own, and I won't have stricken it myself. Striked it. And what's the plural for Strike Your Own? How do I say that? Okay, Con Noobs is going to do it as 750 as TSCs, and mate, that's so kind of you, mate. Thank you so much. I'm just googling how much Strike Your Own's cost right now. I'm a little bit worried. No, they're great things. They are great things. I want to one day, as soon as possible, start your own. Now, it's a bit. I was considering going down and trying to meet the guys at the next Strike Your Own, because Coin Noob did say my last, in our Stack Chat, not my last one, but one before last, when I chatted with him, he let us know that he was going down, and I did really consider it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it this time around, but in the future, I definitely want to try and get down there and meet the guys, and just so I can tell them face to face how well they're doing, and how great they are. Basically, just fangirl it.
That's like.
Sorry, mate. Go on.
That's the other great thing about it. Like, some people obviously want to keep their real identities private, but others are up for kind of meeting up, and I think that's great. I mean, my meetup with Cobra Stacker last week, it was just great. I mean, it was nice to meet up with someone in person and then have this conversation. Unfortunately, I don't have that many people here that I can talk coins with and stuff like that. So I think a get together is a great idea, especially at an experience. The Royal Mint, for example. I think it's great.
No, absolutely. I wanted to meet up when you were over. I couldn't. I think can you remember I asked you whereabouts you were staying when you were over in the UK, and you let me know you were down south, and it was just a bit too far for me to meet up for a coffee, unfortunately. But it would have been awesome if you to have done so. I bet you had a lot of fun with Cobra. He's a great guy, isn't he?
It was really, really good fun. And like I said, even with you, I don't mind getting about the country. I like kind of driving and visiting different places. So next time, unfortunately, I was only there for a couple of days. So with Cobra, we kind of managed to, make it work within the time frame, and relatively local to where I am. But next time, I'm planning on coming over for slightly longer, and I don't plan on having an agenda. I mean, I went over for my brother's engagement, so that kind of was
just very sorry, that was the main mate. Just need to say a quick goodbye to Darth, mate, because he's jumping off. So Darth, it's been great having you as always, mate. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for the comments and the questions. So take care.
Awesome. Yeah, so you were saying about coming across, mate. Sorry to have interrupted you there, buddy.
Yeah, so like, I was saying like, next time I come, it'll be more for an actual vacation without an event or anything like that. So I'll have more time to kind of plan other things.
No, absolutely. Which would be great, because if you were coming over for, you said an engagement, didn't you?
Yeah, it was my brother.
Yeah,
My little brother
yeah.
got
So if you're
engaged.
going over for an engagement, you know, for one thing, you're not here for a long period of time. Secondly, you're gonna be busy the days you are here. So absolutely, I can see that. Didn't leave you
Yeah.
off. Coinum says it looked like a dodgy drug deal, mate. What did you? I mean, I'm just quite surprised you didn't have a police officer come over and tap you on the shoulder.
I, I tell you what, it felt like a dodgy
Well,
drug
you
deal.
deliberately. I mean, let's
Like,
for anyone who hasn't, for any reason, seen that video, you kind of did it purposely, didn't you? A bit of tongue in cheek, as a joke. You both slid the packages across the table,
yes.
like kind of like a drug deal from the
Yeah.
movies, kind of thing, which was really funny.
Because I wanted to give Cobra a couple of stickers and a little coin, and he had some bits that I picked up off him from his last auction, and it just purely coincidentally we both put them in a
Yeah.
brown envelope, so it really looked all kinds of wrong. So especially with the looks we were getting from the next table, I'm surprised we didn't have security come and ask
Yeah,
us what was
yeah.
going on.
No, I really am. I really am because that could have. You could easily have had somebody oversee that and be like, "Well, I'm ringing police. I don't know what's going off here. He's got two guys, two dodgy-looking guys passing each other brown envelopes across the table." So, but it was a lot of fun. Let's just move on to what John's just brought up because it's very interesting. Have you noticed the spike in price over silver over the last few days?
I have actually,
Yeah,
yeah.
because he said that he's noticed it's jumped from 18 quid to just over 19 quid in the past few days here in the UK. Let's hope it goes down again soon for more bargains to be had. Absolutely, I think that's great. I love to see price drops, especially temporary price drops where you can treat them like
Yeah.
a sale. It's brilliant. But seeing the price goes up, it's also great when you've got silver. Because that's the value of your money going up. So it's a double-edged sword. It's
Exactly. Kind of, the whole love-hate relationship we have with the spot price going up or down. When it goes up, you kind of think, yeah, I'm putting my money in something that's growing, but then it's
yeah,
expensive to pick up
absolutely.
more. Whereas on the side, when it goes down, yes, I can pick up more for less, but then the money you've already got locked up in your existing stack
Yeah.
is kind of devaluing. So it's a double, like you
Yeah,
said,
no, it
double-edged
is.
sword.
It is, but I think to me, ideally, I want to see a gradual increase with the sporadic drop here and there. Yeah.
Agreed.
Brian Clough used to do his transfers deals with brown envelopes. Well, Brian Clough was a don. There's no question about that. Brian Clough was the biggest don in football history. So I would be shocked if anyone told me that Brian Clough did transfers any other way. Personally, I think he actually transferred players in brown envelopes. No, I was a huge Brian Clough fan. Being a Nottingham Forest supporter. So yeah, it's and I'm not, when I say I'm not a Nottingham Forest supporter, I don't really follow football that much. But they're a localish team to me, so they're a side I like to see do well.
Okay. I'll be honest with you, football has never been my thing. I'm clueless. And much to my dad's dismay, because he's a huge football fan, he supports one of the big clubs. I won't say which for, I don't want to cause a riot in the comments.
Well, APM was
But
showing off his Arsenal corn last week, so I think you're good, mate. I don't think you got anything to worry about.
my dad would be very much a fan of APM because
There
he's
you go.
also an
There you
Arsenal
go.
fan.
I've got a good friend who was an Arsenal fan, so I don't mind Arsenal. I've got to be honest. If it was down to me, I'd probably be a Spurs supporter when it comes to the London teams.
See, my mum says she's a Spurs supporter just to wind up my dad.
Although then again, West Ham have got a good song, "Blowing Bubbles." I'm forever blowing bubbles, so why not? But yeah, no, like you, mate. I'm not a huge football follower. I definitely don't ask me any questions relating to football because that's my knowledge base completely burnt out at that point. But
I wouldn't.
Yeah, for me, it's mainly like the international games, like the tournament games. You know, I'll follow them. I like to follow the Euros and the World Cups, that kind of thing. But other than that, you know, it's I haven't got a lot of time with it. I don't, I don't like football as an industry. I think what these players are paid for what they do is ridiculous. It truly is. And when people turn around and say, "Well, yeah, but they train throughout the week," they do what I do for fun. You know, it's called exercise. It's called keeping in shape. You know, I'm not saying they shouldn't be, you know, the best at what they do. They should be earning a lot of money, but not an absolutely ridiculous amount. You know, when you're talking about people earning millions and millions of pounds every week, it's a bit of a, you know, it's a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
really is.
yeah, and when you take into account that what they're doing is predominantly a child's game. You know, it's
Playing
it's
a game.
something we
Yeah,
do for fun on the playground. You know what I mean? I mean, it's definitely winning the lottery in life, isn't it? If you can be you know, if you
oh
can
yeah.
be a world class footballer. Shall we see how how England have got on? Yeah, let's have a quick
Sure.
look. They were 1-up earlier. They're now 2-0 up. Old Harry Kane, Harry the Hurricane, has scored the 75th minute, and Enrico Pepe scored. How did I say that? Enrico Pepe has scored at 8 minutes as well. It's come through as an own goal, Pepe's goal. They were playing Malta, in case anyone was interested. So, yeah, that's great result from England. So, yeah.
And the football news brought to you by the
Absolutely, a
Stack
guy
Collector.
who knows nothing about football. Well, one of the teams has put a ball in the net twice, but one of the teams did it themselves, and
Yeah.
other team did it for other team. That's my knowledge of football. So yeah. Stephen's just confirmed 1-2-2 So it's scores by Stephen. I think is how we should do it, mate.
No, when I was younger, still living in London, an uncle of mine had an
Oh
executive
wow.
box at the Arsenal ground. It wasn't a hybrid, at the Emirates, the new stadium. And he used to invite me to go. Well, he used to invite my dad, and my dad used to invite me and everything. And then I would just go for the hospitality. So I'd go
Yeah.
eat, drink, and then just kind of that I'd go just
Yeah,
for
I mean,
you know
it doesn't matter
that.
what the sport is. You know, any trip to a box is a day out, isn't it? You know what I mean? Yeah,
Exactly.
it's an experience
Yeah.
when you're up in one of the boxes and you know you've got the suite there
Yeah.
and you know you're comfortable and you've got drinks to hand and stuff like that. It's kind of
Yeah. People like
no you go on
sorry,
mate.
go on. No, I was like people were saying to me like, you're missing the game. I'm like, what game? So
Not even
it
I'm
really
not
wasn't
that bothered about the
just
game. I'm just here for the
in
box
no way,
experience.
shape. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's come over and joined us tonight, despite the fact that there was an England game on. Or eat me duck, says Stephen. And that's 100% right. How you doing, me old duck? That's what we say around my neck of woods. Or eat me old duck. How you going? Yeah,
Whereabouts in the country are you?
I'm in the Midlands, but top of the Midlands, and
Midlands. Yeah.
I have a bit of northern heritage going up
Okay.
to Scarborough, which is a seaside town in the north of
Seaside town.
not
How?
sorry, go
What sort of drive is that from London?
on. Ooh, 6-ish hours.
6-ish hours.
Yeah,
Okay.
quarter of a day, about a quarter of a day. Yeah, it's going to take you some time to get to. It'll take me about 4 hours to get to London, about 2.5 hours to get to Scarborough. So you're looking at 6 hours.
It's not. Yeah. In Cyprus, 6 hours I could get from one end of the island to the other.
Yeah, but you're pretty much doing that with England, though. You know, you're going from London,
Yeah.
which is proper south, to Scarborough, which is
Oh,
proper
yeah.
north. You go in pretty much across the whole of England, not the whole of UK, but the whole of England, nearly.
England.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I should say, in actual fact, in 6 hours I could probably do it there and back.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can remember speaking to somebody. We were saying to how English people we don't like to drive far to get to places. Like what we see as a massive car journey would be just like a trip down the street to people in like the States, etc.
Yes. Yeah, but then you kind of take the scale down further, and you come to a small island like Cyprus, and what you would say is down the road for someone in the UK is another town
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
Cyprus.
it's all the way over there,
It's,
kind of thing. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. But see, I'm glad because I've kept the UK mentality because I love to drive. I've always been into cars and driving
Yeah,
and all of that. So like now, I've got friends and family in other towns, and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing the weekend, for example?" Because that's when they can carve out half a day or a day. And I'm like, "What are you doing this evening?"
yeah,
And they're like, "Well, nothing, but there's no time." I'm like,
yeah,
"Why? It'll take me half an hour to get there, half an hour back. You've got plenty of time."
yeah,
Like, "Oh, you're going to come all the way up here?" And I'm like, "All the way up here isn't that far for me
yeah,
because I'm used to the UK distances."
yeah, yeah. Stephen said 250-ish miles to Scarborough from London. Yeah, it's a fair old drive, isn't it?
That's not too bad. I've done worse.
Yeah, no, as have I. The worst one I ever did was a drive from UK to South France. That's
Done that, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's grueling. I think that was 21 hours driving. That was.
I think my most grueling drive was I had some cousins come over to London for a holiday, and then my parents decided let's go to Paris for lunch.
Oh,
So
cool.
we literally did Paris and back in a day.
Yeah, I
That was
encourage that. That's so cool, that is. And what were you saying about evenings? Yeah, I get about 100%. The amount of people, it's like, oh, what you doing this evening? Well, and we start getting all shocked and like, this evening, I'm going to be finishing work and having some tea, and then it's time for bed.
yeah.
It's like, really? But you've got hours. That's if you're not doing anything in the evenings, that's like 5 days of your week. That's dedicated for nothing but work. It's all about getting out there and doing things in the evening, especially in summer when you've got sunshine till like 10 p.m.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's like I think the lifestyle in Cyprus is exactly that. People don't live to work; they work to live, and they enjoy the life
Yeah,
that they have outside of work. So people are always out evenings, weekends, any chance they get, socializing with friends and family, and
yeah,
it's great.
yeah. See why, mate? How do you feel talking with a chat for 2 minutes?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
okay?
sure.
I need to go and very quickly run to the toilet myself, mate. So I'll be back in less than 2 minutes, pal. Thank you very much.
Cool. Yep. Let me see. Let's have a quick look. Lee, what car do you drive? Lee, I drive. Well, it's currently in need of an engine, but I drive a 4x4 Mitsubishi Shogun. Is the equivalent in the UK. I've had it for about a year now, and I was unfortunate enough to kind of neglect the cooling system, and it overheated, and we blew the engine. So that's not great, but it's being fixed. And for the time being, I've got a Mark V VW Golf, which is a great little car. I used to have a really nice old BMW that I used to love, and unfortunately, circumstances caused me to have to sell it, and I regret it to this day. And if I'm ever in a position to, I'll try and track down the current owner and see if she'll sell it back to me, because I love that car. I built it pretty much from the ground up. Let's see. Scott Silver, took me 8 hours to drive to Silverstone this year. Longest drive. Oh, Silverstone. Was there an event, or what was going on? Tea up north is dinner down in Shandyland. Yes. Need a trickle charger for my Nismo over the winter. Yeah, future. I've seen your car in the videos. Beautiful, beautiful car. I take it you're into your Japanese sports cars.
You've got to be talking
A
to
good friend
Future Investments. All I heard was Japanese
Yes.
sports car. Yeah. No, when you said you
Yeah,
were into cars earlier, I was going to say you need to get on Future's channel because he loves his cars.
yeah. I've picked up on a few of his videos where he talks about his Nismo, and I've seen clips of it in the videos, and it's a stunning
It
machine.
is a nice car. It really
Uh,
is.
yeah. The 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 Nismo, it's a bit newer than most of my cars. I'm into older
Yeah,
cars,
me too.
so kind of the newest car that I owned was my 2002 BMW. So that's not exactly new, but it's the newest. Before that, all I had was 80s and 90s BMWs. But I used to love, like, buying them, restoring them, upgrading them, crashing a couple of them. But yeah, I love cars.
Yeah, that's great. I'd love. I want to get myself an old school Granada. I love those cars.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
my dad used to have one.
I did. It never really got on the road. It kind of got scrapped before it ever got on the road. But it was like my first car because it was like my dad's old one, myself, and he had the Gear X 3.8 liter, whatever it was, and it was a machine. It really was a machine. I used to love
Sorry,
that
I've
car.
just seen this comment. He's indeed into his Japanese. Used to have a mint Nissan Silvia S15 spec car.
Very nice.
That is, oh yeah, that's another amazing machine.
Yeah, yeah.
So, did you go to the Japfest show recently at Santapod Future? There's a great Santapod is
Yes,
a quarter mile.
yeah, it's a great place to go and watch drag races, isn't it, Santa Pod? And you get
Yes,
people like
yeah.
you get like kind of open events, don't you, where people who are enthusiasts can go down and race their own cars down there. Santa Pod's an amazing place. Yeah,
I used to be there. I used to be there all the time.
yeah, yeah.
15, yeah, yeah. I figured you would.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I can see Future being there. Scott Silver's a big fan
Yeah,
of F1. I know Future's a big fan of F1. I've not followed F1 in quite a few years. It used to be.
that two of us.
Sorry.
Me too. Like, I used to follow it quite a bit way back, but I haven't for I'd say 5 6 years. I've really fallen out of touch with it.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit over that for myself. I just fell out of it. I think for me it was like I don't know if have you ever got this where like you'll split up with somebody and you just like we used to watch the F1 together all the time,
Uh-huh.
and after I split up with her, it was like, oh, I don't want to watch the F1
Just
anymore.
falling. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Totally with you.
And there's so many things in the past that I truly loved, but because you used to enjoy it with somebody, and then you've ended up splitting up with that person, and
Yeah.
you fall off of it. But yeah, I think that was me for F1. Future loves F1. Las Vegas race this weekend, baby. Oh, very good, very nice. He definitely does like watching his F1 races. I know,
Yeah.
he lets me know all the time that I'm just watching F1 now, but. But it's great.
And
It's good.
yeah, Dream Car R32 GTR, mate. Yeah, I totally agree with that. A very good friend of mine in London. He's the one person that I actually did go out of my way to see while I was there just this weekend gone. He's a big Japanese car fan, and we always used to rib each other because I'm into German cars, he's into Japanese cars, but love of cars is there. But his dream car is an R33 GTR. Both great cars. But I wanted to ask Future, has he ever taken the Nismo down the quarter mile?
Oh, that would be
I'm
cool.
curious.
That would be
That's
cool. Yeah,
time.
yeah. Definitely let us know, mate. Steven's into his bikes. RD350 YPVS, damn sexy bike. I will have to take your word for that, Steven. I do not know a lot about bikes, unfortunately. They're
Bikes,
cool things, but
I do like bikes, but they scare me. Like, nothing like the safety of having like a metal cage around you
yeah.
if, God forbid, things go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And people can say, well, bikes have got a lower centre of gravity. That's all well and good. But when you do crash, I want to be in a car. You know, yeah, absolutely,
Exactly.
absolutely. But I can imagine the freedom of a bike must be exhilarating. You
Yeah.
know, having the wind in your hair and being able to bop around on the bike. It must be a lot of fun. I can completely understand why people get into bikes. But it's something I've never got into myself really. I've rode around on mopeds a little bit when I borrowed friends' mopeds to get about. But other than that, that's about it.
Yeah. 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 I'm the same. Like I'm now kind of thinking of doing my bike license to get something a little bit bigger because in Cyprus with the nice weather like most of the year round it'd be a nice commute because I only live 10 minutes from work and with the sunshine and whatever it makes so much more sense with a bike than a car.
Yeah.
So um but I mean like I said before, if anything should were to go wrong, just that lack of safety element, it worries me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like for men, even, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm keeping out of that one. I'm gonna throw it back to you and say chainsaws are for men. I've got more chainsaws than you've got. I feel pretty confident to say I've got more chainsaws than you, but maybe not. Maybe
Oh,
not.
things like you can kind of like hold on to your manliness in another way. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely, it's my leaf blower I really like because I've got a really powerful leaf blower. I've got three leaf blowers. I've got a small battery powered one. I've got a handheld petrol one, and I've got a proper backpack one. And it makes me laugh whenever I see somebody on a 50cc moped bopping about. I think to myself, I've got more power on my back right now than you're sat on riding. You know what I mean? Because
Yep.
I think my leaf blower is something like 65cc. It's a
Oh wow.
yeah, it's a powerful piece of kit, mate. It really is. So I enjoy getting that out. But yeah, that's how I'll cling on to my manliness is the tools for my work.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah,
Yeah. No,
absolutely.
for me right now, like I need to get an engine in. I blew the engine in my car, so I need to rebuild that.
Yeah,
But then I've got a high lift kit coming, so I'm going to raise it up, big chunky
nice.
tires, and I love taking it off road.
Yeah,
So just being out in the wilderness, and yeah, out here it's good fun. Lot of dirt tracks, a lot of country roads.
yeah. No, I can imagine it's a lot of fun. I really can, and
Yeah,
that's how I like to drive. You know, country roads, out of town driving. You know, I don't like being stuck in traffic. I do like being able to drive around. You know what they say about dudes with big cars? I'll leave it there. Lol, lol, lol. I don't know. I don't think it necessarily has to be a big car, does it? I mean, a lot of times it can be small, sporty cars. But I think I know what you're
that's
referring to there, Stephen.
that's that's the thing. Like I'll never win that argument because when I used to have fast cars, they used to say the same thing about that. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll just hold my hands up and just leave it at that.
Yeah, yeah. Lee says, I get you, Steve. I'm a biker. I never knew you were a biker, Lee. That's cool. I've got nothing against bikers. I think bikes are cool. I've just never got into it myself.
Yeah, same.
Definitely. Right, we are coming up to 3 hours. Can you believe that?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah,
Yeah, it's almost 10 p.m. We have been chatting away for 3 hours now. So, uh,
yeah. It's midnight now
yeah, yeah.
for me.
Yeah, well, it's getting late for me. John has just said, Stack Collector's chainsaws have more power than some of your motorbikes. It's true. It's not a lie. It's not a lie. I have some
We were
very,
just saying, yeah,
very powerful chainsaws. What was it you were saying earlier about bikes? This is what made me think of chainsaws. Because you said about being scared of bikes.
yeah,
Terrified of my
yeah.
chainsaw, mate. I am so terrified of my chainsaw. It's so powerful. It is such a powerful, destructive piece of kit, and it takes so little to go wrong for you to lose an entire
Yes.
limb. Kickback. There's a certain part of the chainsaw saw. Well, there's a certain part of any rotating saw, which is the kickback zone. And if you
Yeah.
touch anything hard with that, the chainsaw comes flying back towards your face
Yep.
at an immense speed. I've seen some horrendous accidents with chainsaws when people haven't been paying enough attention with them, or they'll slip and trip onto a running chainsaw or something like that. So yeah, I'll be honest with you, mate. My chainsaws, they frighten the living hell out of me. I will never ever become comfortable around them, and I like the fact that they scare me so much.
But that's the thing. It's like if you get too comfortable with something, that's when things go wrong. So if you have a healthy respect for the tools that you're using, then you're more cautious, and then that's kind of
Absolutely.
where you
Yeah,
be.
yeah, absolutely. I've just seen a comment from Future. Do we still have British soldiers in Cyprus? I didn't think we were still based out there, are we?
Yes,
Are we?
yes, there are. Yeah, there's still three military bases in Cyprus, and one's actually 5 minutes up the road from where I live. And I see a lot of military helicopters flying overhead when they do testing. Yeah, there's a lot of expats in Cyprus,
Yeah.
but a lot of them live on the military bases. I think it was part of because Cyprus gained its independence from Britain in 1960
Hmm.
with the provision that it could retain a couple of bases here.
Right, yeah.
One's here in Africa and one's in Limassol. I can't remember where the other one is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we do still have people coming in. I see them kind of out and about in town.
Yeah, yeah, no, no. I mean, I remember being a kid, like in the 80s, 90s, growing up, and like Cyprus was always kind of a cushy place to get sent to, if you know what I mean.
Yes,
It was,
yeah, yeah.
it's nice weather. There wasn't a lot of conflict going on. I know there's the DMZ and all that, but not a huge amount of conflict within Cyprus itself. So I do know that was a place a lot of British squaddies used to really enjoy getting sent to.
Yeah, it used to be the same because my dad used to work in IT, and he used to actually help set up some of the computers on the base in Limassol.
Yeah,
He used to have friends that would come and go, and like you said, it was an easy post. They'd come over. Obviously, they'd have their training exercise and whatever, but then they'd get to enjoy the weather and the downtime by the sea, and it's a nice. I could think of worse places to be.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Especially weather-wise, it's you get some beautiful
Yeah,
weather down there, don't you? Yeah,
oh yeah,
I thought it was kind of. I thought we stayed there only for a period. Like we did in Hong Kong.
yes,
We gave up Hong Kong, but was it 25 years we stayed in Hong Kong?
something like that. I think.
Yeah, we governed, like they had their independence, but we governed it for a further 25 years until we fully came out of the country. So I thought it was like that with Cyprus. It's very interesting to find out that we do actually still have active British Army
Yeah,
bases over there. I wasn't aware of that, mate.
mhm, yeah. And it's funny because when you look on like Google Maps, like there's addresses, and when you kind of look them up, it'll come up with UK
Hmm.
because it's kind of
Well, it's
what's the word I'm looking
it's
for?
UK ground, isn't it? It's UK soil,
That's
isn't
right.
it? Within the
Yeah,
base, it's like if there's an American base in England,
yeah.
inside that base is considered to be US
Soft
stocks.
land.
Yeah, and they'll pay
Yeah,
US taxes, etc., etc. So I know that's
yeah, exactly.
yeah, I definitely know that's the case. That when you have a base in a foreign land, the soil
Yeah,
within the confines of the base is considered to be soil
yeah.
of the country whose base it is.
But I mean, it's open for the public to drive through. Most of the time, unless they close it for a particular reason. And then you drive through and you see kind of the names of the roads. There's a road that always sticks to mind. Knightsbridge Road in one of the bases, and it makes me giggle because it's UK land in Cyprus.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and same as say, I knew that was the case from before because I know people used to try and get petrol from American bases back in the day in the UK because you were paying so much less for the fuel than you would if you went
That,
to the garage just down the road because you were paying American taxes and American rates on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know people used to say that kind of thing, but yeah, no, that's really really interesting. John was stationed there for over 3 years before the Falklands and 18 months after the war. That's super interesting. I never served actively. I was a reserve for the RAF when I was younger, which was
Okay.
yeah. When I was really young, I was an air cadet, part of the ATC, which is the RAF cadets. And through that, when I got to be 16 years old, I became a voluntary reserve troop, which means I was an actual reserve for the RAF and could have been called up to duty if we did go to wartime. But obviously that never happened, and I never saw active service. But I was a reserve for a period of time in my youth.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
So, mate, go on.
I was gonna say because I actually lived in Cyprus part of my teenage years before we moved back to the UK. So I never enlisted because obviously in Cyprus you still have to do your military service.
Yeah.
But I never did because I moved to the UK before I turned 18. But then recently, because I've been back in Cyprus for 7 years now, but then recently I was in the process of applying for a license so I could do security. And part of the license application is that you have to provide discharge papers from the army. Now, I've never done the army, so I kind of went to the local military office to kind of get papers to say that I lived in the UK, so I never did my service. But due to a health condition, I was exempt anyway.
Right. Okay.
But then they're like, we've got no record of any kind of exemption or whatever else. So you're going to have to enlist, and then get your doctor to sign you off and whatever else. I'm like, I'm in my mid-40s. There's no way I'm gonna do military service at 40-something years old with a bunch of 18-year-olds come the new year. They're like, well, then you better get your papers quick because
That seems old.
yeah,
It does seem old, doesn't it, to be called up for service? 44.
yeah. But unless you're discharged, you have to do your mandatory 18 months. So I'm like, but I was discharged, because on medical grounds.
Discharge grounds. Yeah, before you even,
Yeah.
you discharged at a point where you never even had to enter the process.
Exactly, but then for some reason they've lost these papers. So I had to, panic and like run around and try and find people to sign documents and, doctors' reports and whatever else to try and get out of it. Otherwise, yeah, I would have had to go into it.
Yeah. No.
So that was a close call. But the funny thing is, I've been here for 7 years and I've been paying, I've been working and paying taxes, and I'm, fully registered with all the government offices and whatever, tax company, tax. And no one's ever said to me, "Hold on a minute, we've got no record of you ever having served or done your military service." So I haven't exactly been hiding.
Yeah.
They just missed me. I must have fallen through the cracks when I came back 7 years ago. So that was a bit of a tense couple of months.
I can imagine, yeah, definitely. I'm glad you got it through. I've just seen Future Investments asked if John was in the Falklands, and John said he was in the RAF. Yeah, it was just the Navy in the Falklands, wasn't it? Are you?
Yeah,
Do you know?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
it was.
100% sure.
Yeah, because obviously we were so far down there, weren't we? I mean, it's when we had the new Sea Harrier jump jets, didn't we? That was a big
Yes.
thing of that. But I'm sure they were just Navy Harriers. They weren't the actual RAF. But
Harriers are cool.
Harriers are so cool, especially the Sea Harriers, the jump jets. They really were so cool. I love those planes. Being able to the vertical takeoff. It was just it was absolute game changer, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, but the Royal
again,
Marines are part of the Navy future.
Yeah,
Paras are army. Paras are army. They're infantry, but yeah, the Royal Marines are part of the Navy, mate. That's the Navy's fighting force for Royal Marines. The RAF have what's known as the RAF Regiment, and that's their fighting force. They have men on the ground, men in boots on the ground with guns, and that's called their regiment. But you'll find that every single one of the emergency of the armed forces kind of have its own, army and Air Force in it, don't they? You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it was a super interesting conflict. The Falklands was.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just seen John's message about it being a painful part of his life and left him broken, mate. I can't actually even imagine what it's like to go through. Not only just active service, but active wartime service. I've got so much respect for any soldier that's ever served during wartime, John. And I can only imagine it must have had a massive impact on you, mate. So I'm really, really sorry to hear that.
Yeah, huge respect to anyone who's been through that, and it's like I said, can't even imagine what you go through on a mental, psychological level. It's just, yeah.
No, it must be. It really, really must be. Stephen said they had RAF Harriers in the Falklands. I thought they were Navy Harriers in the Falklands. I was sure that they were the Sea Harriers they had during the Falklands were Navy. But I was born after the Falklands conflict, so I don't entirely know. I think Falklands was in 1982, wasn't it? When was the Falklands? Right. Let's have a look. When was the Falklands War? Yes, it was 2nd of April 1982 the Falklands War happened. So it's a couple of years before I was even in existence. But I was of the understanding it was the Navy Harriers that they had down in the Falklands. I could be wrong there. I definitely could be wrong. 2 shot down in that conflict. Yes, there was 20. John said it was Sea Harriers, and we got 2 shot down in the conflict. And I think they started with 20 Harriers, and I think the 2 that got shot down were actually shot down during friendly fire incidents. I don't think. Oh. Yeah, I don't think that they were actually shot down by the enemy. If I remember correctly, they were shot down during friendly fire. One of the ways to look at the Falklands when it comes to the military equipment that we had, it was kind of the equivalent of holding a dwarf at arm's length, because their missiles could fire something like 2 miles, and our missiles could fire 20 miles. So we could just sit back outside of their blast range and we, missile them. Obviously, we had to put troops on the ground. I think what was the famous battle from there, it was Goose Green, wasn't it? Yeah. Again, maybe we shouldn't be talking about this because obviously we've got people in the chat who was actually there, and I don't want to stir up any difficult memories for people or anything like that. So perhaps perhaps it's best to move on just out of respect, if you know what I mean.
Of course.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'm very interested in military history. I am very interested in it. So it is something that I do absolutely love to talk about.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not as up on military history as I'd like to be, because there's just so much going on. It's sometimes hard to kind of retain all the information, but I know what you mean. It's a difficult topic, especially when it's more recent history and people have been kind of actively involved in it, and it can be difficult to talk about.
Yeah, it absolutely, especially when you've got people who were there first hand, and like I've said myself, I can't even imagine what it was like. But yeah, Lee said, "Don't get me started on Nam." I really do love Lee. He comes out with the best one-liners. He really does. Yeah. I could just imagine Lee Parola being in Nam. I really can. He's a great guy. Right, and let's change the subject. As I say, let's change the subject slightly. We've been on for 3.25 hours, so we're probably coming up to the last leg now.
I was going to suggest maybe like start thinking about winding down because I've actually got to be up in about 5 hours
Oh
for
wow,
work.
wow, yeah,
So
we best get looking to close down soon. Which is a shame for Cyber Salman because he's just popped in and joined us.
hi.
But so it's great to have you here, Si, mate. Unfortunately, we are looking to wind things down very shortly. But yeah, it's been absolutely amazing to have everybody over here in the chat. So thank you so much to everyone for joining us.
Yeah, huge thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So on that note, is there anything you want to just bring up very, very briefly before we end it, or if we discussed everything you wanted to discuss?
Personally, I just wanted to say thank you to you for having me, and thank you to everyone in the comments for all the great questions and just the fun conversation. It's been a really, really enjoyable evening, and it's been great. It really has. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it has been great, and you're more than welcome. Thank you for coming on, CY, mate. It's been a pleasure to have you here, mate. It really has. It's been a great chat. We've got to know you a little bit more, and I think that's a brilliant thing for everybody. And obviously, just to remind everybody to go and check out CY's channel. He's been going a few months now. Great channel, really, really good content. He's I think, are you on 77 subscribers now?
Something like that. Last I checked.
Something like that. So definitely not enough subscribers for CY there. He's,
77.
Yeah, as you can tell tonight, he's a great guy. He knows what he's talking about. He's got a great voice to listen to. So please do me a favour if you haven't done so already. Head over to CY's channel, check out a few of his videos, and if you like what you see, which I'm sure you will, consider hitting that subscribe button because it would be amazing to see him get to 100 subscribers sometime soon.
That's much appreciated. Thank you.
That's no problem at all, CY, mate. It really would be. You do have a great channel, and I can see it going. I can really can see it going places in time to come. But to see I'm on next week. Be very afraid. Wow, we've already said this, Stephen. I've said I'm next week is the first stack chart I'm worried about. I don't know what's going to happen next week.
I think it'll be great to sit back and watch. And, I'm looking forward to just whatever is to come.
So basically, next week is all about TSC getting shouted at by a Gobby Northerner. that's next week's stack chat. But no, it's going to be a lot of fun because I know Stephen knows a lot of stuff about silver. He's been stacking for a long time, and I'm going to be leaning into all that well of knowledge that he has, and love to discuss.
I think Stephen didn't manage to pick up at least one of the Una bars because I've got it here.
Yes, and I also have one somewhere. So we've saved. Here it is. We've been able to save two of the Unas from Stephen's evil clutches. Yeah. The Una thief. He's not a thief, but he does have all the Unas, and it's not fair on the rest of us, Stephen. It's about time you sold some of them at the price you bought them for to me, all of them, please. No, sorry, mate, go on.
As long as I can have a couple.
Yeah, no, we'll sort of see why out a couple, and then the rest I can have. Absolutely. No, I am really looking forward to Stephen being on next week. It's going to be a great chat. So if anyone wasn't aware, definitely tune in again next week when I'm going to have another stack chat with Stephen. That's the guy with the 2 threes for ease. And as I say, it's going to be a great chat. I'm going to run another small giveaway next week. I'm not sure what I'm going to be looking to give away next week. I'm open to suggestions.
Sorry, just to take it away for 1 second. I've just seen a couple of comments between Future and Lee talking cars and talking about Skyline burning rubber and about Future in his S15 and his Nismo. Guys, feel free to email me any clips. I'd be eager to watch. So
Have you seen Steven's comment?
Stevens, yes, yeah. Sorry, mate, you can't have this one.
No,
You have to
no,
come and get it.
those are the ones we've just shown. Those are his. Return them immediately.
Like I said, he knows where I am. He'll have to come and get it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's all right for you saying that. He's not that far away from me. I'm worried I'll actually turn up to him here. Scott Silver says you're just a young lad, TSC. You present yourself as somebody beyond their years. Oh, I don't know if I'd call myself a young lad anymore. I'm approaching the big 4-0 in a couple of months' time.
If it makes you feel better, you're younger than me, so
Yeah, well, I'm not the oldest, I get that, but I definitely don't. I've got to the stage where I don't see myself as a young man anymore. I'm starting my journey into being an old man. Is the way I see it. I'm at the start of that journey right now, but yeah,
that's how I see it. Yeah.
age is just a number. So Stephen said he'll be gentle to you. I promise. I'm hoping. I'm genuinely hoping that Stephen does go easy on me next week. But no, he's a great guy. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can see that absolutely.
Yeah, forward to it.
Yeah, 100%. But it's been a lot of fun, and see why obviously you're going to have to be there next week in the chat. It wouldn't be the same without you. You are
Yeah.
always there supporting a load of channels. So Seven says I've got kids in their 40s. Thank you. I mean, that's making me feel a little bit better. So thank you. It's
Seven. Just to let you know, I got your email. I'll send you a response just to confirm, but I'll get that out to you first thing Monday morning.
Oh, John's got to go because he's not eaten yet. Neither have I, John. I've not eaten it today. I've barely eaten in the last 2 days because I've not been well at all. I've really struggled to drag myself onto the live today. So I hope I've done all right. This is me with man flu.
You've been amazing. I don't think I would have been able to do even half of what you've just managed. So well done on that, and I hope you feel better real soon.
Awesome. No, that's brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to wind things down very shortly. John needs to go and get something to eat. We have been on for coming up to 3.5 hours, and it's gone. Yeah, it's well gone midnight for CY. So yes, let's look to end it. So, is there any last statement you want to make very quickly before I do the? Yep, go on.
No, I was going to say I just wanted to say my goodbye. So again, anyone who's still watching, thank you very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure to be on with the Slack Collector. He's been a fantastic host, and I just feel honored to be here with him and all of you. And I'll do my little goodbye. So until next time, I'm CY Sterling. You've been great. Take care.
Awesome, that's brilliant. And as we all know, I have my own special way of closing down the videos. So I will leave you all by saying, until next time, as always, look after each other. Keep stacking. Take care. And goodbye.